Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome. I am troopersjp, and we are doing some tales from the foxhole. I hope all of you out there in foxhole land are having a lovely time. Also, I'm just turning off a thing that I need to turn off so that I don't have uh, double sound. Perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our end of the summer RP extravaganza where we're doing all the RPs with people that I love to play with systems I think are really fun. And I'm so glad to have you all back here for part 2 of Cthulhu Confidential X Astoria, featuring the most amazing and most marvelous JakiDash playing the most
Vivian
rational,
Sinclair.
level-headed, risk-averse, um, totally honest with her fiance, Vivian Sinclair.
She's not honest.
No, she's. I took notes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not honest.
yeah. Just totally, yeah. And they're, you know how you make choices and those choices are clearly long-term great choices. Huh. Anyhow, uh, maybe Vivian Sinclair does not know what that's like. Uh, anyhow, thank you everyone for being here. I want to say we do this. You supporting us and being here makes all of this worth it. Thank you for being here. If you would like to support this show, because this show is not, you may not realize this, but I do not have corporate sponsors. I'm not owned by Hasbro or anything like that. So if you want to see more of these things and help support us, the best thing you can do is watch the show, either live or on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, giving likes, giving comments is great. Liking, subscribing, commenting, that would be lovely. Thank you. And you can also retweet our live retweet or reskeet our live skeet on the Blue Sky. You can also give tips and bits, and if you do, and you leave a message, I'll read out that message at the end. You can be a member of our Patreon, which is over at Academic Foxhole, and all of the Patreon's tips and bits goes to help pay for the cast, and or any kind of commissioned art or music that I might do, that sort of a thing. And we have a special tier, a special sponsor tier on Patreon. There are only 4 slots available, and that is a $200 tier, which will pay for 4 cast members for one show for 1 week. And if you are one of our sponsors, you get a special shout out, a special spot in our credits, and you get a radio ad that will play once a month, which is why there are only 4 slots. And also there are only 4 weeks in a month. See how it all works out. But just to be. And we have one sponsor right now, and that is Will and TW, who not only has been here from the beginning, from the Geek Space TV days all the way back, but also is so kind to take notes and will sometimes be like, I'll say like, what was the name of so-and-so? And Will will be in chat and will be like, it was such and such. And I was like, thank you so much. So good. Thank you. So thank you for all of that. And I think it is time for me to toss it over to JakiDash. JakiDash, tell us, we know who you are, but I feel like we don't know who you are.
I
On a
mean, I
deep
hope at
level.
this point. It's pretty loud. I'm pretty obnoxious. Hi, my name's JakiDash. JakiDash. Try to be acceptably loud on someone else's stream. But yeah, I'm a part-time streamer, full-time Joy ambassador. I bring the goof and the ball. And currently I am playing Vivian Sinclair, who is definitely going to achieve every dream. Unfortunately, all her dreams are very focused on her job right now and not on like the protection of the city or her future or her engagement. But I'm very excited. I'm
You are
exciting.
exciting.
Yeah,
You are
I
exciting.
am exciting, and I'm excited to see all the choices and how, like, moving forward based off the path we laid out last episode. Because this is part 2 of maybe 2, depending how it goes.
Maybe 3. I mean,
We don't know. All we know is that Vivian survives till the end, right?
That's true.
She could
That's
live
true.
longer, but she will not die before the story has a conclusion.
That's true. The conclusion might be death, but we don't know. Uh, maybe for you and all of New York City, and maybe the world, but no pressure.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure at all. So why don't we do a little bit of a recap together? So this is Ex Astoria. This is the story of our. Wait, hold on. I feel like I cannot give you this recap just yet. I have to do this first. Hold on.
Oh yes. Please do.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Maybe something like this. That's right. We're going to recap what happened in Cthulhu Confidential. This is a story. There are 1,000 cities in the story, and this one belongs to Vivian Sinclair, hard-boiled reporter, on the street, on the beat, finding out what's happening. She got word there was a labor struggles down in Queens between the miners who are digging out the sandhogs, digging out a brand new water tunnel 500 feet underneath the surface to bring water from the Catskills down into New York City. It's a dangerous job. People die. There was some sort of accident that happened just a few weeks ago that shut down work on the tunnel. Until we found recently that the company, they went and started hiring scabs. Lonely, sad men with haunted eyes and no jobs in the breadline, no food, no future, no hope. Rounded them up and also no experience. Put them down to the tunnels to help dig things out. Something was found down there, but what was it, we don't know. These men started becoming irrationally angry and belligerent. Well, not all of them. Just 3 of them who did special work. Special. Right now, one of them has been sent to... Oh, I forgot to say, this kerfuffle turned into a full-on riot. Buildings burning in the night. Vivian Sinclair is on the scene with a young reporter taken from the Post. As a matter of fact, they saw the worst of humanity that day. Vivian Sinclair followed one of these scabs, Rafael Escalante, found out that he was just trying to stop the violence as best he could. Didn't want to have any trouble if he could avoid it. Told the story about the 3 men, Ira Graber, Benny, and one other fellow who ended up dying in prison, jail the night before. Told the story about these 3 guys who went ahead, did special work. As far as he could tell, the problem was some sort of explosion happened a few weeks ago. They shut down everything because of this explosion. They found something. These 3 men were pulled apart, pulled away from Mark Arnold, and sent ahead to work in private late at night to clear out things, clear out the slag. Apparently, they did it because it was dangerous. This guy, Rafael Escalante, was like, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Now it's a little bit too late for everybody involved. JakiDash, why don't you tell us, as we get the mysterious music, what our reporter on the scene has done last week?
Where do we even start? So, Vivian Sinclair, always one to make bargains, to find all the stories, worked with Raphael, made sure to give him confidentiality, made sure to get him to her cousin to get healed, but repaired is also not the right word, but taken care of.
We mean that by murder. I'm sorry, we don't mean
No,
that.
I don't.
Sorry, I said. Go ahead.
Get a sling for the arm that was broken by Benny, who started the riot. Then, following up, Vivian wanted to know, this could be a big story. Yes, they wrote that story on the riot. We covered that. Carmela's gonna get a great start. But what? Let's go deeper. So we started following Hudson Enterprises. We started looking into them. Why are they hiring scabs? Are they hiring scabs? And Vivian Sinclair could not help herself. She started to devise a plan to get into, to find evidence for this truth, to figure out, because if they can prove that they hired scabs, that's a story, that's something, right? The accident we know about lightly, we know that people got hurt, but it's more important that we figure out if there's a labor dispute, right? So Vivian goes in, does some sneaky stuff at the police station, uses the police phone to call the secretary of Mark Arnold, the guy who hired the scabs, to get him to make sure his office was clear before she snuck in, and she started looking for evidence. And what she found was an ostentatious half-finished piece of art of Mark Arnold and his promises to become president of the world. That's just normal, very casual executive behavior. She knows. So she starts to look in, she starts to open drawers, start to look through filings, and she finds photos of not just her, well, not just of, the union reps. She finds photos of her. She finds photos of other reporters. She finds out that this executive is getting a little bit paranoid about what's going on. And so, unfortunately, she doesn't steal any evidence, but she now knows that Hudson Enterprises did some illegal acts to get this contract. They have never done this underwater kind of, or underground kind of work. And she also learned that the president of the company, no idea they're scabs. What's his name again?
Oops.
It's
Sorry,
not Mark Arnold.
No.
I'm
just saying it's a little bit awkward when you don't realize that. It's awkward indeed. Your president
is it Mr. Adrian Rush?
Adrian Rush.
Yes. So I'm gonna write that down. So she's at this impasse. So as she's sneaking out, very subtly, she leaves a note for the secretary to get out of there, because that secretary is getting abused, not physically, but mentally, by this boss. And she's like, it's not worth it, get out of here. But also Vivian knows, because she can't use this evidence. It was all ill-gotten. If she uses it to write this paper, they will know she was in his office. So currently, she is returning from this office. She gets in a taxi. She has a 6 a.m. appointment, dinner, breakfast with her fiance. And so she has till 4 a.m. to get this article written. She's got a big story and she wants to find it. And I think she's leaning into the corruption aspect, because that's the easiest thing to prove. Well, the most hard-hitting things to prove. But if she can prove this, she's got front page with her name on it. A dream she's always wanted. So currently she is in the cab and she is heading towards the union hall, because she knows the union president is a little bit of a chatterbox, and she wants to get the story on what happened with this accident. She has a couple of routes she could take right now. Maybe she could go to Benny at the Institute, the one who started the riot. He's not dead, right?
No, he's just a bit angry.
Yeah,
apparently his friend Ira Graber went to visit him. We don't know if he's still there.
That's Ira, right? And they sent some police there to hopefully talk to him about it, right? And we also have the construction zone, which Mark Arnold seems a little obsessed with.
That's true.
A little. And I think she's hesitant. She's hesitant to go there because it's just a construction site. It's just a completely normal construction site. Perhaps dangerous, because construction sites can be dangerous.
Absolutely.
And so her, with her bag of brick, is going to go to the union hall to find more information. Hopefully, get that front page and then figure out the future. Because it's all coming up roses. Oh, and then she also did call... She also did call the police station and say, hey, if I go missing, Mark Arnold did it. Don't tell my fiance. Bye.
Which is in no way going to make him nervous, right? Yes.
She told him
Yeah.
Andy's at the front desk. She told Andy not to tell him unless she went missing. So, like, Andy's a pro.
Yeah.
Andy definitely won't do that.
Yeah. So,
And one more thing.
yeah.
Is Vivian winning? No. She's losing with style. Because it might look like she's in the lead right now, but she's just earned all the potential points she could. And so I think there's going to be some tough choices in episode 2.
Yeah. Also, I suppose I should just remind everybody our current state of things. We have a couple of cards on the table. 2 are from the past. Our continuity problem, anything for the story. That's Vivian.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Marty's respect, which is an edge, which is only positive that she's got a mob boss, a mobster who thinks she's pretty keen and would, do something probably illegal as a favor.
Do a favor.
A favor. Yep. But also, our dear Vivian has a problem called harried. This was trying to track down this scab. The next time she needs to talk to somebody who might be irritating her, she needs to make a difficulty 4 cool quick test to avoid snapping at that person, regardless of who that person might be. Or they can take some time to get their head straightened out. That's just waiting there right now to cause trouble. And then also, however, warm-hearted, you get to spin this card to take a +2 on your next cool test. That's nice. Those are nice things that balance each other out just a little bit. So, the leads you have are to go down to the Union Hall to at least get the story of the Union side of what happened at the riot. Then you can put that into your story. You've gotten Rafael Escalante's side of the story from the scab side. So
Right.
You do that, you're good. Now, this guy, Benny, started the riot. Being able to talk to him might not be bad. If you can't talk to him, you can't talk to the third guy because he was stabbed. The one who was robbing Jimmy Leone's shop and just random shops down the street in a bit of a frenzy.
Just all of them. Just straight up. Just rob.
Just rob. Just like, rob. And like, not like sneaking in robbing, but like breaking windows in the middle of daylight robbing and then just grabbing things robbing. And then being arrested pretty shortly thereafterwards because, that's just, yeah. Like I said. But, that leaves just Ira Graber and Benny as the 3 people who were given special secret work by Mark Arnold. The 3 who are unreasonably angry, one of whom is dead. So, with this, it is now 6 o'clock in the evening. 12 hours before your Brenner with your fiance.
Brenner,
12 hours?
because he's also working night shift.
Because he's working night shift. 12 hours. You two had a bit of a rocky patch, but some grand gestures, and sometimes it seems like you're not the best at communication, you two, but it is 1934, so what can we say? And you do try. So.
We do try.
Yeah.
And we have 12
you do care
hours.
about each other.
Now,
12 hours.
When does the article have to be posted if it's gonna go to the morning edition?
Well, you're gonna want to get it in before 6 in the morning for certain. But the evening edition one is done.
Yes, we did the evening. We submitted that. We made sure to give it handwritten to Carmela, who typed it up.
Yep.
We got the photos.
Yep.
First day on the job and her photos on the front page. She's doing good work.
She's doing good work. And you just need to get a good story about government corruption with as much evidence as you can. I mean, I'm still surprised you didn't steal any of the evidence from the office.
Listen, as soon as she saw her photo in that pile of evidence, she knew she had to play a little bit more cautious. Maybe Vivian, before she found ghost radios, would have stolen that evidence. But she's no spring chicken.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So we do have 3 very different paths. One,
Yes.
not going to go to. Vivian construction doesn't need to. So we
Yes.
have the union headquarters because to get the full story,
Yep.
because being able to absolutely say that they hired scabs,
Yep.
they went against the union, like that's gonna
Mhm.
be, and then you do the corruption spin when she has more evidence, right? This might not be tomorrow, maybe it's another day, but she wants this story in. Benny would
Yes.
be great, but we know, like, and we don't know whether Ira's, but like, she saw Benny. She saw Benny. He didn't look like he was one for talking. She
Yeah.
also
At
knows
least
he's
at that
not going
moment.
anywhere. Wait,
Yeah,
did
he's
we
also
figure
not
out
going anywhere.
Benny didn't die, right?
No,
Only
no.
Dan.
Benny was just beat up by the cops, and then because he was not being very rational, they sent him to Bellevue, where your friend Phil Lenz is, the
Right.
coroner. Oh,
The coroner.
oops, I forgot something. That's okay. I'll pick it up in our break. I was like, oh, the coroner. I was like, wait. Oh, it's just over there.
Where's your gooey sandwich?
I need my gooey sandwich is what
You
it
need
is.
your
I was like,
gooey sandwich.
where's my gooey sandwich? So you've got Bellevue with Benny and maybe Ira if he's there.
Yes.
You've got the Union Station. You've got the construction site. I think those are all of your main.
I think so.
Contacts.
Or home. Or go
Or
home.
Oh, go
Go
home just to
home.
relax.
Put yourself in
yeah.
a blanket.
Sure.
It's a completely normal case.
Yeah, and not search for the story. So,
Which
you're heading
you
over.
should never do.
No. You're heading over to the local 147 headquarters,
Mm-hmm.
which is in Queens, because this is where our sandhogs are.
Yes.
The people who are doing very, very, very dangerous work, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
And it's on the corner of 36th and 24th Streets, and it's a squat building. It's nighttime now. You get there, it's probably like 6:30 or 6:30-ish by the time you get there. Now, late at night, you might think a union hall would be empty, but there's just been a riot, so you know very well that it's not. The front windows of this place they're hung with thick curtains, so you can't see inside the building. And they're covered with banners proclaiming labor slogans like Sandhogs One for All. And there are flyers advertising current meetings, and there are remnants of old flyers papered over with, what do you call it, like paste, right? And there's right in front of the door. The door is right there. The door itself is propped open a bit, and you can hear the sounds of people. There are cars around parked, so you can tell that the place is, and you can see lights from the inside. The place is certainly occupied.
Vivian doesn't need to stop. That taxi goes out. She pays, what, a quarter? I don't know how much a ride is. Make sure there's a tip. You know, it's hard, but she knows that she's lucky. She knows that no matter what, they need the news. So
Thanks, Toots. It's the same taxi driver. You just have
Oh,
this
yeah.
weird luck. It's always the same
it's
taxi
always
driver.
the same taxi. It's Cthulhu Confidential, but Vivian's
Yeah.
not gonna search this one.
Nope.
This one's convenient.
Thanks. Takes the tip.
Yeah.
It's just there in case you need it.
And then she just, in her little kitten heels, just goes right up there, opens that door, is looking directly. She knows this. I cannot. Rodriguez, is that what we decided his name was?
No. The union boss, Ernst
Yeah.
Foley.
Ernst Foley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ernest, I think, actually. Now
That
I have
makes
to
sense.
tell you that you don't get to walk straight on in, though, because you're stopped at the door.
No one can stop Vivian. Who's dare? Who's dare?
Who dares?
Who dares?
Well, that's an interesting thing, because somebody does indeed stop you. A young man. Well, it's 1934, and you know how in 1934 sometimes you can be young and look real old?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah, yeah.
cigarettes.
It's cigarettes. Yeah.
And the
it's
depression.
The cigarettes.
It's
And the depression.
The Great Depression.
Yeah, yeah. It's the cigarettes. It's the depression. And you're stopped by a young man, tall, gangly. He's got sort of dark reddish hair, but his hair's already graying at the temples. He looks for you, right? This guy to be maybe mid-20s, perhaps.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Graying a little bit, hair thinning already.
It's tough to be 25.
Yeah. It's tough to be 25 in the Great Depression. Like not a good time. Not a good time for anybody. And I was looking for something. I don't want to lose my thing. Where'd it go?
Take your time.
Great. I got it. And he is wearing sort of overalls, and he's he looks surprised to see you. He looks like, because he's there like at the door, and when you come in, he just looks a little bit surprised, as if he was expecting someone else, as if he were expecting to see someone else. As you can see past him into this union hall, the hall itself is one large room, and it's called they're rows of benches, right? So that people can sit and have their meeting. And there's like a banner that says Local 147 that is draped across what is like a kind of like a stage with a podium, like a small low stage with a podium. And there are tables in this place that are covered in buttons, literature for like several pro-union sources, homemade pamphlets, and you can see little posters and pamphlets everywhere with like jaunty titles like Johnny's first subway ride, courtesy the Local 147, or Cleans Catskill Water, costs Sandhog lives. So there are a lot of these like sort of there's some strikes, some signs, picket line signs,
right,
that are there, saying things like, a harm to one is a harm to all, clean water but not at our lives, like these kinds of things, right?
Yeah, because it was a strike before it was a riot. They prepared for a strike.
Yes. Yeah.
It became a riot.
Yes. It was supposed to be a strike because the workplace was unsafe and they were hiring scabs. And then one of the scabs just started punching people, apparently. And then it became a riot. And then there was fire. And then there was a lot of property damage. And then, that was maybe not great. Now, there are a lot of people in this hall. You can see a number of all men. There might be like one or two women who seem to be like doing administration, right? In the union. But you have a lot, and you can tell actually, you see some of the men you saw already. They were at the police station. They clearly have been bailed out by the union, picked up and sort of brought here. I would say, the scabs are still at the police station because Mark Arnold's not bailing them out. It was just like,
he's not a lawyer.
He's not a lawyer. He was apparently an engineer and a person who bribes people. Talks, schmoozes with people is what he does. Yep. Yeah, that's right. But these young men from the labor union have been bailed out. They're all here. It looks like this is sort of like a post-incident decompression session, right? Is what they're sort of like talking and strategizing. And that's probably why they're all here. But also there's a lot of labor, so they might have been here anyway.
Yeah.
You can see, you notice something about them. And you saw this before, but each one of the people who seem to be the workers have a small badge on their belt, they're each wearing some kind of badge button with some writing on it. And the badge says compressed air worker. And if you can,
That's right, because they
Mhm.
have to be good at the drilling because it's very dangerous work. And you should hire people who are skilled, essential workers and pay
yeah,
them.
yeah. And you're right next to this guy who's right in front of you, who's stopping you, and you can see the badge on his belt pretty clearly. And not only does it say compressed air worker, but underneath it there are instructions on where to take him should he collapse in the middle of the street.
Oh.
Because being a compressed air worker is actually quite dangerous, and people die. It's really bad for your health. Like the
Yeah,
average
because
life
it's the
expectancy.
dust.
Yeah.
It's the like but I'm like, in the middle of the street. There's no tunnels in the middle of the street.
No, but um, the average life expectancy for people who do this job is 40.
This kid's got 15 years on him. His whole life's
Yeah.
ahead of him.
Yeah, whole life.
Yeah, whole life. I think Vivian is walking up the steps and she knows when a man wants to stop her. And
Yep.
it's never mattered. And
No.
so I think she flicks out because I think she does have her press badge. It's
Yep,
like,
yep.
very similar to his little star, his little
Yeah.
I'm a good boy star.
Yeah,
She has
yeah.
her get the F out of the way badge.
Yeah,
And she's like, Vivian Sinclair, the Post, I need you to move aside, sir.
And there's this confusion in his face because there's one like, oh no, wait, but wait. Like, oh, wait, press? Like there's a whole like slew of conflicting feelings that go across his face because, he has many directives, right?
He was
Like,
told one thing, and this does not follow the one thing.
well, really, he was told more than one thing. You know what I mean? Or he was told one thing, but also knows another thing. One thing might be, don't let anybody in. The other thing might be, Ernest Foley loves talking to the press. And if this is the press, I should probably let this person in because he always gets mad if I don't let press in. But he did say don't let anyone in, but he did say, but I do know he loves photo ops. And so there's that. And then also she has a press badge. Oh, okay. I will also note about him that he looks really like he hasn't slept in a while.
He looks shaken.
He looks very shaken. He looks like the weight of the world is on him. Like he is dealing with very, very serious and heavy things, and he seems very troubled in many ways. Like that's his sort of like default state, but he has to like shift gears because he's seeing you, and he goes, so press, right, about the, right. And he just sort of looks and he points over to Ernest Foley, who is sitting up on the stage. And you could tell that Ernest Foley, he is not young, our dear Ernest Foley. I would say he's probably at death age, like mid 40s, I would say. He is most of the guys here are pretty thin. Pretty muscular guys, right? But this guy's got some extra pounds on him. And he still wears the badge, though. The badge in his belt saying, compressed air worker, here's where you take my body if I fall unconscious. Although you do not get the sense he's been working in the tunnels for...
No. There's probably been like news report luncheons that like every Tuesday you can come and talk to him about union stuff, and like they're not cheap luncheons. Like
yes.
And I could say that like Vivian, like, yes, it is hard to be on top. It is hard to keep going, but like he's lived to 40 at this job, not because he's continued doing the job.
That is correct. Now,
so I think they've met before.
He does have a reputation.
Yeah.
And the reputation is... Depends on who you ask. There's some things about him, but who you've asked would color how people frame him. one thing is that he is known to be incorruptible.
That's good. That's good for a union lead.
It's not always good. It could be good, but it's not good if you, for example, like to have undue influence on unions, right? If you would like the union to do what you want it to do, and this guy's incorruptible, that makes him, that's less good. And there are all sorts of people who might want to be able to influence the union to make them do what they would like them to do.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How does Marty... We've established Marty,
Yes.
my good friend from the mob.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about Vivian, like, she's a card shark, so like she gets
Yes.
invited to
Yes.
his games.
Yes.
What does Marty think about the union?
Yeah,
Because Marty
streetwise.
is a good, if a little blunt,
Yep.
it's
yep.
good to know what his side is, right? Because
Well, thing is, you know, there's a lot of stuff that Marty wouldn't talk to you about because it's not really, you know, we don't need to share that thing. But you know, sometimes a little bit of poker. You've got the five families, and the
Yeah.
five families each have a different borough that they're basically in charge of. And thing is, the mob likes a lot of things, including construction. Construction's great because the thing
cement.
about construction, cement. But also, you know, I'm over here in the Boston area. The Big Dig took like 80,000 years to finish because of the mob, basically. And what they like to do is they will like either be in charge of the company or the union, something like this. They'll get the bid for a contract. They'll usually like pay the government to get in their bid really low, so it's a really cheap bid. So they can make, well, you know, actually, no, they usually do like a really expensive bid, but then they just use bad quality materials and cheat so that they make massive profits. And then what you get is like a bridge that will just fall down because it was made using sawdust. You know what I mean? Like this kind of a thing. Makes a lot of money for them.
So they probably were upset that they couldn't get this job because this job was a big job.
Yes, it
All
was,
right.
and they didn't get it. And they're also a little bit upset that Foley, they're watching Foley. They're a little bit worried about him because they don't have control over him, and they don't like that. So the mob's not super happy with him. They're just watching, right? There are enough other unions that they can do what they need to do. Corporations and companies don't really like Foley either. Yeah, I'll just note that like Foley has turned down the union, so some of the mob don't like him. Foley also is really willing to strike at any time. Like if you don't give his people what he wants, he will strike. If you don't give them proper safe working conditions, he will strike. And he will like, rather than like, let's sit and negotiate and keep working while you underpay us. No, we're going to just go strike right now.
Which
we're
is why he likes the newspapers, because the newspapers are always going to report it, and that gives him leverage.
Yes, it does.
Vivian respects him, but like because she's also like hey, we get things done.
Yeah.
However, and she also gets treated special when she's there. But also, I think she can be a little bit annoyed with like the let's get going. I can only report on this strike so often.
Yes.
Like,
yes. You also know, because you are Vivian. So first off, he shut this entire thing down for like the last 22 days after that accident that happened that you don't have all the details on because it was not your beat.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really reported on particularly well. It was reported that there was an accident and things, but he shut down all work on this for at least 22 days. And this is an expensive dig. That's 22 days of no progress on this dig, right?
And we know there was an accident. We know there was deaths on another dig like this.
It happens all the time.
But we don't know actually what happened at that accident, which is why I'm here.
That is
because I need to know what happened. So
that is correct. That is correct. I will say one other thing. One of the things that you're pretty sure of about this guy Foley. If you look at it, he's incorruptible. He's in the pain in the ass of the big companies, right? He fights for the little man, and he loves having meetings with you or any other press. And you're like, oh, you're going to be running for mayor, right? Like you want to be
Oh, that's right.
mayor
That's
or
right.
governor. Like you know that this is not just because he's a good union man; it's because he wants to.
And he's got to be
mayor or governor.
uncorruptible, looking to become mayor. All right. I'm picking up. Okay.
The mob may not want him to become mayor if he is that uncorruptible, and the businesses may not want him to become mayor if he's that not willing to play ball. So there are a bunch of people who maybe would be okay if something bad happened to him.
And she doesn't report on politics. Like, to be fair, that department is kind of exhaustive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And like, it's just not her beat, right? Because I think what's hard about that is it's hurry up during the biggest time, and then it's kind of quiet. And she doesn't like that. She wants to pick her own pace.
Yes.
So I think Vivian, first off, does this child let her through?
He kind of there's that like deer in the headlights moment where he's trying to like he was sort of stuck and he's not quite certain, and then you just hear, is that Vivian Sinclair? Let her through, and
Ernest.
And this guy like just kind of steps to the side as to let you through, and there's still people. There's some people there you can see have got some bruises or like got like somebody's got their arm in a sling. There are people like who are like nursing their wounds and getting themselves ready. And he goes, come on in. This is we're always happy to see one of the fair members of the press. And by fair I mean honest and willing to give people the right shake and always to tell the truth. Come on in, pull up a seat. And he like grabs a seat up there for you. And you can see
is he on the podium or is he standing next to it talking to the people?
Well, see the people right now. He's not giving a speech at the moment. Everybody's sort of licking their wounds, but he's not giving a speech, but he's still up on the stage, right? And he's sitting on a chair that's right next to the podium, and he pulls up one of these kind of folding metal chairs for you to sit up there with him.
Yeah, Vivian knows she's got a timer. She doesn't want to sit down right now. She's got a little antsy energy. And so she's going to walk up and she's going to take her place where she usually takes, which is like near in the front, but like still asking questions.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to do the stage. That's 3 steps. Why would she take 3 steps?
And so he just like drags his metal chair to the edge of the stage so that he's still up on the stage, but sitting and he can look at you a little bit closer.
Yeah. He's doing the lean forward. And so I'm like, flip for the post.
And he goes, I see you've got your camera, and he just rolls up his sleeves, right? And he kind of like he actually loosens his tie so he looks like hard guy at work,
a rugged guy. Okay,
rugged guy, and he steps up by the podium, right? So he gets up out of the chair, puts the chair behind so you can't see it, steps up, he leans on the podium, and he makes like a really good gesture that makes him look like a really good, hard-working union boss.
Can I ask a question? Is he gonna stay up there until I take a photo?
Yes, he is.
Then I will take the photo. Like, Vivian does not want to waste the film. Like, she would rather, like, we talked about Carmela taking a lot of, like, the personal stuff. Vivian likes to capture in very similar ways, not the personal, but the action. So she would rather have taken a photo of, like, all the people just running around. Like,
yes. Yeah. You want a good action photo. It sells well.
Yeah. And so she takes the photo. Great. She'll expense the film.
And he comes, he sits down.
And then maybe she'll sell it to his political committee. And she's like,
Miss Sinclair, I'm so glad to see that you came here to get the full side of this story.
Yes, Mr. Foley, I've heard some things about the riot in particular, and we've already covered that. It's in the evening news. You should have got I believe you get the newspaper. You've seen it. It's probably like, I assume it's like folded on a chair somewhere nearby. Yeah. And I'm like, I really want to follow up on the particular strike. I know that my other correspondents reported on it, but I'm following up on the accident, the reason, because I know that your opponents will state that this is an unreasonable request. So I need to know the exact reasons or of the accident so I can explain to the city how this is a misuse of resources and it's dangerous for the everyday man. And I'm gonna just try to like kind of make it so like he has to kind of tell the whole story, right?
Yeah.
I don't want him to give me the like one sentence. I want like the whole thing. And I don't think there's a role for that. I don't think I have
what
one.
skill are you using?
Well, the problem is I would want it to be something like, oh wait, investigative, I have flattery.
Yes, you do.
So I think I'll just use a little bit of that like flattery, of being like, you know, I need to know how you're strong. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear the planes. Strong, brave. This is gonna sound weird. The strong, brave man of the union, and how they were so hurt by the corporations, and they're too strong, and they're taking control of the city, and I need to know.
Yes, flattery is the best skill to use with him. And he listens to you, and he's like, "All right, Miss Sinclair, got a few things on the record first. We can talk about what happened there, but I need to say first and foremost on the record." And he just looks to your pad to make sure that's going to be put on the record. You need to know, and I need to make sure this is put down, that it is not the fault of my men what happened, right? This riot, this burning down, people losing their livelihood, that was not the fault of our men. It was those scabs. They started. First off, they don't realize you're not supposed to cross a picket line. And they're also not supposed to strike a union man, right? And when he says that just a little bit louder. Not supposed to strike a union man. And like some of the people there, the union members, like they raise their fists in solidarity. And you can tell that
that's a good line. Not to strike a union.
Yeah,
Put it on a poster.
Right, you know, and you can tell he's giving you an interview, but he's also being watched by his people, right? They want to see how his leadership is. And then he just sort of brings his voice up a little louder and he goes, you know, the thing is, this job, what's happening, this belongs to our men. We're the Sandhogs. We give our blood and our lives and our sweat for this city so that people can have subways and clean water. And we bleed for this, and this should not be taken from us. Now, look, we have two very reasonable demands that we want from Hudson. First, we want compensation for the men whose health was compromised in the accident. And,
the accident not the riot, the accident.
No. Yes, at the accident. That's what we want. And, we understand that the accident was not something that Hudson Enterprises could have predicted. We're not saying it's their fault. We want to be very reasonable and work with them. However, it doesn't matter if they could foresee it or not. We have men who are seriously injured and having some kind of long-term health problems, and they need to be compensated. And the second demand we have, and he's just making sure you put it in the booklet, right?
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
Is that we want to make sure that city health inspectors go in there. We want their certification that the site no longer poses any risk to our miners in terms of their health. It's not going to get them sick in some kind of a way. We don't want to work until the city health inspector says there's nothing in there that's contagious or dangerous. And we want to make sure that we get compensated. Now, I'm going to note for the record, just for you, if this were... He's talking about the city health inspectors.
Yeah, this is unusual. This is like, now we're thinking of like gas leak. Like now we're like...
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
But this is also people. People buy newspapers when they're scared. And let me tell you, if you say there's something underground...
Yep. That is correct. So, that's what we want. Health inspectors, compensation for... ill miners, and we're not going to stop striking until we get those things. And also that this riot was not our fault. That was the scabs. And I feel like we should note that Hudson Enterprises were wrong. for trying to go behind our backs and hire scabs who are not qualified to do this job in the midst of some kind of health crisis. And you're like, yeah, in the background, right? And like
So-
he's,
No. So Hudson is not at fault for, like, they could not have foreseen these circumstances, but they are neglectful in the clean, like, again, just using the words he would use, neglectful in the care of your union employees, and
yeah.
also Vivian knows how to razzle dazzle a group.
Oh yeah. People are
And
getting around.
also, they refuse to reach out to the inspectors, or are they covering it up?
They don't see any need, but there's clearly a need for health inspectors to go down there and see what happened, to make sure that after the turn of events, everything is safe.
And who's your contact at Hudson?
Well, right now they're not talking to us at all. Normally we talk to Adrian Rush, the president. But, yeah. And of course, the problem is that Hudson Enterprises, they said they wouldn't letting anybody back into the site after the accident. I mean, I suppose the scabs went in.
Yes.
But they've
And
shut
we
that
also-
entire place down.
And we also don't know about, do we have any details on the accident?
Yeah, we do. Our men were there. They saw everything. They know what happened. It's, well. And he sort of like just lowers his voice and dips down a little lower. We were, mining. And, we're drilling like normal. And, now, you need to know that our miners are some of the best, not only in the city, not only in the country, but in the world. Nobody could kind of do the kinds of things that we do, and we are experts. We have some of the best blast supervisors there are. This is dangerous work, but if other people had done it, more people would die, and nothing would happen in this city. So, we were working as normal. And then our miners, they must have just encountered some kind of underground pocket of noxious fluid, something like this, because there was a bit of an explosion, and then a couple of our miners, they became gravely ill. Gravely ill, Miss Sinclair. And not in the usual way. Yeah. It's not like the bends. I mean, you know, we are used to that. You come up, you decompress too quickly, you get the bends, and you can get real sick. You can just... but it wasn't like that, and so, the union, we take care of our people, so we just called a halt to the whole project. Just stopped it right there. And, you know, I've been negotiating with Adrian Rush in good faith. I have been, right? Trying to make sure we get this going. And I gotta tell you, I was particularly shocked to find out that all this time, I'm in good faith negotiating with the president of that company, and all the while he's lying to my face, smiling pretty, but hiring scabs to go down there and work right underneath our noses. Yeah, it's gonna change how we do our negotiations from now on out. We're not gonna negotiate the same way when somebody's a bad faith liar to our faces after our men get so sick.
I know the truth.
You do know the truth, but he doesn't know the truth.
And I can't say I know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I'm, revealing my sources.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Do you know how this works? The sandhogs, what we do down there.
Yes, I believe you're using air compression tools to clear out slow and hard work, and that grinds and it clears space so we can go deeper. And then you have other teams who are building up supports, so you're going deeper so you can protect the people of the city while getting your work done.
That's right. We work in teams, right? We have one team that blasts ahead. We have our blast supervisor. He points to that young man who seems so depressed. Our blast supervisors who figure out exactly the right kind of how much you need for blasting and gunpowder, dynamite. Get the right calculations. They go in. They blast ahead down the tunnel. clearing up space. And then we get a second team coming up, falling behind them to clear out all the slag, because all of this explosion leads you like a big, thick, gunky, sort of dusty, terrible bit, and that's all cleared out. And then once everything's cleared out, then we bring in another team, and they're going to start building the frame of the tunnel, right? They build the frame, they pour concrete, 30 feet of concrete, and you work in segments, right? You do segment by segment by segment. Every foot we fight for. And something went wrong. Doesn't happen often because we're very good at what we do. Sometimes it happens when the type of rock changes. If we're setting charges for granite and it turns out it's shale, that can cause a problem. But we always sort of figure out our blasting the charge based on the kind of rock that we're blasting through and how big of a hole we want. And rock doesn't change that frequently, so we don't normally get these kind of problems. But I gotta tell you, in case somebody tries to tell you different, there was no change of rock. We had that locked down. We knew exactly kind of what rock we were going through down there, 500 feet below the surface. Instead, it was found kind of like an empty pocket down there, right? So we are putting the rock in. We figured this will take us about like 15 feet, but it turns out there was some sort of empty pocket, maybe like 2 or 3 feet in, maybe. So the charge had too much force, you know, for the rock that we had, and yeah. Now normally when this happens, right, if you get like mud, if you get a pocket of mud, that's what happened like a year or two ago. Hit a pocket of mud, those 3 guys, those 3 sandlogs just got shot through, but this wasn't mud. And it wasn't actually empty. It wasn't like it just an empty pocket. It was we didn't get a good look at what it was that we blasted through, to be honest. We just immediately evacuated. I wasn't myself personally down there, but my guys, my boys, they know what to do. People got injured at the explosion. They immediately evacuated with our men. Now, of course, the thing is, you can't just evacuate so quickly in a place like that because we've got air pressure locks, right? You can't just take an elevator up because then you get the bends and you could just die. Yeah. But we lost a lot of time getting our injured men up to the surface through the air pressure locks in the elevator. And Hudson won't let us back down in there to see what happened, or what. We can't even actually tell what it was that went wrong. Except, we haven't been back down there, but the men in that blasting team, yeah, they were covered in this kind of horrible, gooey kind of substance.
Sorry, did you say gooey?
Yeah, like some kind of like I don't know, gel or something, some kind of terrible substance. But the thing is, it was like it burned. It burned them real bad. My men, the ones who were in the blasting team, they just stripped their clothes off. That's, by the way, why we don't let ladies down there, because sometimes, you know, that sort of thing happens. But the other guys, they just stripped them of their clothes and cleaned them off as best they could. But still burned them pretty bad. And the doctors, they don't know what it was. We sent it over there.
Bellevue?
Yeah, we sent him over to the chief medical examiner, Dr. Lenz, to sort of see what's going on. Yeah, they really badly injured, and we don't know what it was, but they're not doing well. But I'm pulling for them, you know, because they're our men. That's right, they're our men. As a matter of fact, and he points to the, yeah. He points to the guy, the little redhead. That guy right there. His father was one of the injured men, Connor O'Mara. He was our blast supervisor, and he was one of the most experienced and best blast supervisors we've ever had in the 147. Right? Connor's taking over his dad's job right now, and well, we don't know if we're gonna get Connor back. The hospital sent all of the men home a few days ago. They said they just didn't have enough beds, and well, between you and me, said there's not a lot of hope for their recovery.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't catch it.
Yeah, they said that the hospital sent them all the injured miners home because there's not enough beds, and there's not a lot of hope. Not a lot of hope that they're gonna recover.
Because they're just horribly burned.
Yeah.
Did their personality change at all from the injury? Like,
No, they didn't, but they're real sick. They're really, really sick. So I'm thinking some kind of toxins or something, because it's not just burns, but yeah. But that's why we fight.
And you're saying Connor was there, or that that was the son of the lead?
No, that's Neil. That's Neil. His father Connor is there. Was there. Yeah, it's too bad. I'm gonna tell you something, Miss Sinclair. And he leans back, and his voice just gets a little bit louder.
Yeah.
We Sandhogs, we first organized as a union when we built the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah! We died at the bends at terrible rates back then. You know, all that underwater work, and people still figuring out how to do it right weren't quite certain how we did it. How to do it to make it safe. But you know what? There's a difference between we, Sandhogs, and those scabs or one-off men. For us, it's in the family. It's in the blood. Every single Sandhog here passes down this work and these skills from father to son, generation to generation. We, each one of us, we bleed sand in this city. We start at 15 years old. Yeah! They all get all upset about it, right? And we just start hauling out slag at first as 15-year-olds. And then, as we get older, we learn the trade that your dad and his dad did, or your uncle. The O'Mara family, for example, all of them, that entire family, they blast. That's what they do. And then, me, I'm a Foley. We Foleys, we're welders. I learned how to weld from my uncle and from his dad. Now, we've set up rules. The rules of the union say that when you hit 40 years old, you have to retire because it is no longer safe to keep working past that. And when he says you have to retire at 40, you hear a bunch of these union guys laughing and chuckling like that's funny. But I'll tell you what. I'm a stickler for rules, but if somebody still wants to work, I'm gonna let them work. They can, they will, because you know what? This is our lives, and nobody here stops working if they can still work because it's a pride in our job. We, as the head of the union, I'd prefer people did retire at 40, as we are supposed to do. But I understand how people are. I want you to know, and I want you to let the readers of your paper know. There are over 1,000 Sandhogs working in this city right now as we speak. We're working on the City Water Number 2, the Lincoln Tunnel Project. Every single bit of infrastructure of this city, every single sidewalk you walk down, that's built on the backs and the blood of the Sandhogs. The city should be appreciative. Right now, we've got almost a dozen blasters dying of some terrible wounds. And Hudson Enterprises are negotiating in bad faith and hiring unqualified scabs to undercut our men as they lay home, sick and dying. And that is not something that we can stand for. Am I right? And he sort of nods at them. So, and then he just leans in closer. Miss Sinclair, is there anything else you wanted to know?
Vivian's got a lot. Goop, though.
Goop.
Goop is not a normal,
It's not a normal,
safe,
no.
completely normal case.
No, it is not. Nope.
No. Shout out to the Opera Geek. I didn't want to interrupt.
Hey, Opera Geek.
Great monologue. Yeah, thank you so much for the raid. That's so exciting. Welcome.
Hi, Opera Geek.
You're here. You're here. But Vivian's gonna take a moment, and I honestly think she's got all she needs. She knows it was a pocket of substance, that toxic 12 workers injured. How will their family survive? But also, she wants to get, she got what she needed. She's gonna say, like, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm hoping to get this out, but you all, as you know, sometimes we're delayed. So if I need more information from you, I know, and I think I do have his, like, secretary's number. Like, we got it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Great. And you know, I think somebody eventually, like maybe another newspaper person, maybe somebody's like, oh, I have this just in. And so they're going to go distract him. And I think Vivian's actually, as she walks through the door.
And Neil's there, kind of like leaning up against the door frame. He's not, everybody else is very fired up. Like a lot of people are very, very fired up right now.
No, I have a plan.
Yeah.
I have a plan.
A bit less fired up, right? He's leaning against the door looking a bit glum. And
I think when she gets to the door, I think she puts her arm right next to where he's leaning on the door frame and like adjusts her heels, like acting.
Acting.
And young man, please escort me to the subway. It's late, and I would think your team would be okay making sure I get home safe.
And he looks hesitant, like he's not quite certain. And Foley is just like, yeah, make sure they're late. We sandhogs, we are the gentlemen of the city. Blue collar gentlemen, and we'll make sure everyone in this time is safe. Go ahead, Neil. You're dismissed. And Neil's just like,
Use the patriarchy against them.
Use the patriarchy against them. And like, you see some other reporters who are like taking photographs, and there's this amazing sort of energy right now as everybody's really fired up, and Neil sort of nods and he opens the door for you.
And I think, you know, she makes sure her bag and her brick is on her side, and she steps through. And she is going to head towards the subway.
He walks with you.
She is going to take a slightly longer route because maybe not the closest subway station, because she wants to talk to Neil. Because I need to know how his father's doing.
Yeah.
So I think she's gonna like let you know, maybe walk half a block away, and then be like, "I'm so sorry."
By the way, he's got like a bit of a sour attitude, not towards you, but to like the whole thing that was happening.
Oh my god, his dad got really injured.
Yeah.
And they're using it as a talking point.
Yes.
Like, I could see why Ernest could rub people the wrong way because he takes people's injuries as opportunities. And so
he does.
I think Vivian is like, I needed to get you away from there to really, people got hurt and I want to focus on that. How is your father doing?
And you can tell there is something, guys, guy's got a mix of emotions, and you're seeing a couple of things: anger.
Yes.
Um, also, he seems overwhelmed by all of that. That was a lot of speechifying and about his dad. He also seems to be somewhat disapproving and irritated by something, and also afraid.
I don't like irritated. Feeling like that's the other emotions that is with people have a right to feel irritated, but also people have been feeling irritated and punching. So
his seems to be quite directed towards Foley at the moment, but he
can
also
I
seems afraid.
I have a general ability of sense trouble, and I'd like to ask if I can use sense trouble to Vivian has dealt with two kinds of weird stuff. Okay. She has a little bit of investigation abilities on the Cthulhu mythos.
Yes.
I want to see if the fear that he has is different than like the fear of existential fear, or the fear of like, I don't know how my family is going to survive without my father. Like I am just a boy. Like
Yeah.
I
I don't think that would be sense trouble. I think that would probably be a bit more Cthulhu mythos, perhaps.
Yes.
Or also streetwise. Like I feel like there's a combination of those investigative skills.
Yeah, and so maybe I, instead of sense trouble, let me take your gift and be like, this city is full of danger, and your dad helped build it to be safer. However, I also know that there is more on your mind than your job and your you know, what is happening to your father? What is happening to you?
What skill are you using to get him to talk? As you can tell that how do I put this? You get the sense that he's not saying much right now.
I have reassurance. Right? Like I am a reporter. We need to get this information out there. I mean, I love being a social character.
Yes. Reassurance is the best skill to use right now, because what you see is hesitation. You get the sense that he is not supposed to talk to you. Or anyone. And you get the sense not that he's afraid of the supernatural or of terrors, but, and you've seen it before with witnesses who've been pressured by people not to talk, right? You get the sense that he's been told that he's not supposed to talk about what happened to outsiders. And that's what's holding him back a little bit from saying anything. And you are like working that angle, and you can tell that he's like, isn't this you wanted to go to the subway, miss?
Maybe we should stop. Gosh, it's 2 a.m. Right? No, it's 7 o'clock. I'm mixing up my time.
It's probably like 8 now, right? Or
so like places are starting to close, but there is like there is places to go. Like maybe it's not the fanciest place, but like, oh, you know what it is? I bet there's a sandwich place. I guarantee there's like a warm sandwich place. Like it's loud. There's places to eat outside, and I think she's like, let's get a sandwich. I'm hungry. I can't. Come join me.
And he sort of he escorts you to like one of these like little, I imagine it's one of those a sandwich place that like has like it's like a storefront place, right? Where like, there's like a you kind of step up to it.
There's no chairs, right?
Yeah. And like there's like little tables, right? But like stand-up tables, but no chairs.
Yeah.
It's like, Can I get a pastrami, please? And whatever the lady will be having, if you don't mind.
Yeah, and Vivian has her order. I assume it's like
Roast beef?
it's roast beef sounds great, and I think she asks for extra, no mayonnaise, figure, but also lots of oil.
And like, first off, the sandwiches are already pretty oily, but they sort of grab these sandwiches. They come over to this like standing table with the little the umbrella still there. He goes, "I hope you're doing okay, miss."
Honestly, I love being able to find the truth out there, and I love making sure that the people of New York, now this is Vivian grandstanding, the people of New York are taken care of. And to do that, I need to know the truth. And you are, I can promise you that your name's not going to be written down anywhere. I just need to know, are these workers going to be okay? Are their families going to be okay?
Those were two separate questions, and there were different feelings that happened between them.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, the first one you said, "Are they going to be okay?" You get this look of pain and sadness, like really grief. And then when
Yeah.
you ask, "Will their families be okay?" That's when the kind of fear and paranoia shows up again, as if the families have been threatened, right? That's like there's that a really quick little flicker of feeling that happens right there. My he's dying, I think. I'm not certain. He's really bad.
Yeah.
I don't even understand it. The doctors don't understand either. It's a bit of a mystery, I guess. Got the chief medical examiner brings somebody by every, I don't know, twice a week to go get blood samples and everything from me dad, but they don't have any answers. My dad just keeps getting worse. I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's bad.
Stepping forward is incredibly hard. I've seen a lot in this city, and having the courage to keep walking does your dad proud. More reassurance.
Thank you. Thank you. It's on me, I guess, to take care of the family now. I am. Chief medical examiner Phil Lenz. He's been by the house a couple of times already to take blood samples and ask about his health and all that. But see, it's not that easy. Just it's always consequences for talking, you know?
Has Hudson come and threatened your family?
Well, there's a guy that works for Hudson. Yeah. Mark Arnold, I think his name is. I was visiting my dad in the hospital and he was still there. And he sort of looks around, a bit nervous.
Yeah.
This guy, Mark Arnold from Hudson, he told my dad and me mum, that we're not to talk to any reporters at all. He said that if we did, then Hudson Enterprises wouldn't pay a single dime to me family or the family of anybody else injured if they talked. And medical care is really expensive, so I here's the thing. We've got a pension. We've been working for years. Hudson Enterprises owes us, and they threatened us. They threatened if we spoke to anybody about what happened to me dad, they'd take everything we worked for, leaving us with nothing. They wouldn't pay for workers' compensation. They wouldn't pay to
because Foley was talking about that as well, is that they wanted compensation. So it sounds like, I mean, this is Claudia. It sounds like either way, they're not talking. They're not giving the money. And that does not surprise me with Mark Arnold.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, they're negotiating for the money, and they might be able to get the money, but apparently Mark Arnold's like, if you talk to the press about what happened, you won't be getting any money ever, period. No way, no how. And that's, that would be ruinous for these people. That's a good union job, but they're not rich people. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. This is another one of those, like,
yeah,
writing a good paper means that someone might get hurt, right? We got Ralph who got off, but that means that O'Connell doesn't get the support he needs. We got the secretary who Vivian didn't want to steal anything because she knew she would get hurt, and she tried to leave a message saying you should get out of here, you should report it to the cops, but we'll see how that happens. It's hard to get a job right now. And then you now have Neil, which we don't have a last name for Neil, do we?
O'Mara.
Thank you. And with Neil O'Mara, if Vivian is like, yeah, I talked to this kid. Now, I will say she did get a lot from Foley. So,
but Foley was very careful not to mention this sort of a thing, right?
Right. So, but Foley mentioned the burns.
But he also mentioned that it wasn't Hudson's fault. It was completely an accident, right? And that was just a little bit weird, you might think, right? But that was clearly about wanting to make sure he doesn't look
argumentative or blamey because he wants to win in the negotiation. So my head,
didn't mention Mark Foley at all. He didn't mention Mark Arnold at all. Right.
No.
So
I know Mark Arnold from the Scabs, who said, call Mark Arnold, he'll get us out. So, like, I have his name from a source that is completely not. Currently, I have no new information from Neil that would ruin his family. That being said, Mark Arnold needs to go down. Like,
Vivian, and you're getting the sense that Neil is feeling pretty guilty.
Yeah.
Right. He's got this feeling
talking to me. Yeah.
Yes, but also something else is making him feel guilty. Like, it's not just that, but he's angry. You can tell he's angry about being threatened by Hudson. You get that vibe. But he's also just feeling pretty guilty and sad.
But why? Why is he feeling guilty? Okay. I need to ask, because we've never used it. What is inspiration as an investigative ability? Is that just inspiring people to do the good thing?
Yes,
to like change the world? Then that's what I'm gonna use, because Vivian is gonna soapbox a little bit and be like, the people of New York can only survive if we know the threats that are in it. Your dad deserves the support he needs. Your family deserves to be taken care of. There's something you're not telling me. And I am going to not put it in a paper, but I need a hook to search on my own. Neil, what are you not telling me? Inspiration.
Oh, it's a good one. That's a good one to use. He says, first off, he's going to give you something after this that you would not have gotten otherwise.
Yeah.
My dad's not young. So, he's over 40 and...
That's why the guy said that thing with the 40.
Yes, which would make
Because
him
he,
perhaps liable.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I worked really hard to get him on this project because instead of the main water tunnel, because I thought it would be a bit safer. Dad wasn't supposed to be still working. I mean, he's 44 years old, and he's supposed to be retired by the rules. But I mean, nobody retires that young. We still got so much to do, and just the main water tunnel is just really high pressure work, and this job was just supposed to be more like a deep subway, way safer. So I just tried real hard to get him on here, and it's my fault that he was even in this situation. And
It is not your fault.
Miss Sinclair, my dad's getting worse. He keeps saying it was just burns or something. I don't understand. I mean, I wasn't right there up front. My dad was. I was a bit back, and I stripped off his clothes, and I carried him. I got all that goop off of him, and I carried him myself in my hands, just right up to the elevator, all the way up top, and I was real fast. I was really fast. There was hardly anything got on him of that stuff. It was on his clothes. Hardly nothing touched him, and I worked so fast to get it off him and carry him up there. I wiped everything off. There wasn't even much on him, but Miss Sinclair, he's been getting worse since he left the hospital, and whatever happened, it caused some sort of wasting disease. It's just, I don't understand it. The thing is, it's hit everybody that was down there that got hit. The other men that are injured, it's the same thing with them. They're dying. And no one can do anything about it. And the other men, their families, they're pretty... They wouldn't talk to you, Miss Sinclair. They're all afraid. They're all afraid that Hudson just won't give the compensation. You know what? Fuck them. I don't believe that Hudson's going to give us a dime no matter what. I don't think we're going to get nothing except our pension from the union. I mean, you're right, what you said about making sure people are protected. Maybe I'm threatening the Hudson compensation, but I don't think we're going to get it anyway. All we got's the union. Wow. Right. This is my responsibility to protect my family now. Maybe protect the city. Yes. Foley said we're not supposed to let anybody talk to our family. That was off limits. No press.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody might take pictures or anything like that.
Right.
But what you said, you mean it? I could help save the city?
I started being a reporter because I knew that without the truth, we can't make change. I do believe that if the truth gets out there, we can make a difference. I think what you just did was brave, and I am going to do everything in my power to find this information outside of your support, because you are looking out for your family now.
Miss Sinclair, there are only a couple people who were there when the accident happened right there up front, just the blasting team. And I don't know how long they're going to live. My dad. I am. If you think that learning the truth is the thing that'll help save the city, even though I've been told very specifically by Foley and Mark Hudson, I will, I'll take it on my responsibility. I'll let you talk to me, Dad, if you want. But you can't tell anyone that I let you.
I'm going to take a beat. Take a moment.
And you can tell he's really conflicted.
Yeah. Here's the problem I'm having. Vivian knows she's being followed. Vivian knows there is photos of her going in and going out of places.
At the riot.
Well, no. Oh, was it just the riot?
They had somebody at the riot taking pictures of who the press was at the riot.
Okay, so, and it's unprofessional photographers. They're not private eyes.
Yep.
But I don't know whether I'm still being followed.
That is correct.
So my fear is that if I, like right now, it still could be a, hey, he took me home to the subway. I got him a sandwich, right? If I am pictured or seen at this guy's house,
that is correct.
Everything is ruined.
That is correct.
While I know the best, the game-winning answer is to go talk to this guy, Vivian has risked a lot. And I think Vivian is willing to risk herself for a story. And she's willing to risk her relationships with a story. I think she knows she could talk to Lenz.
Yeah.
And so while it might be, I'm missing out. But I get we have anything for a story. I think this is where like this line is being drawn.
I will tell you something.
Yeah.
Your story came out. It's out.
Yeah. The one about the riot.
With your name on it.
Yeah.
Mark Foley certainly has read that story.
Yeah. And it's not a deep right. It just says Scab started it. There was a riot. It doesn't have anything about the accident, anything about the yeah.
But your instinct, Vivian's instinct, which is you suspect you're probably being followed. Yes, the photographs you found were only from the riot, but also those photographs, the riot wasn't that old. But if they had people watching people at the riot, I think that you're not paranoid to assume that they might have people watching you now.
Especially now that I've been like, no, there's a riot. Like, I'm probably the one reporter they're following. I mean, the Atlantic or whatever probably also posted this, but like, my instincts are correct.
They might be following other. This is your sense trouble, right?
Yeah.
They might be following other reporters as well, but if you go with this young man to his home to see his father, even if they're not following you, they might be watching that house.
Right. And
corporations always want to find some excuse not to pay people that they have injured.
But right now, it's still fine. Because the rules was no reporters to Connor. And I think that's
Connor O'Mara.
Yeah, Omar, yeah. I think that's the line. I think this is the like, there is another path that we could take for the story. This is where I guess the guilt is too heavy. And again, Vivian is gonna wind up at the bottom of a bathtub, gonna wash up in the sewer, and this is the reason, here.
Yep. And he's looking at you with guilt and anger, and you can tell he's mad that he's been told to shut up and that
Yeah.
he believes you. He
Yeah.
has been inspired by your words and reassured, and he is now willing to take a reporter that is being watched by who knows whom
Yeah.
to meet his father, because you have inspired him.
Yes. Here's what I'm going to continue with. I am going to. Oh, I gotta be really good about this. How good is my filch skills? How good is my? Can I sneak my newspaper, a phone number, into his pocket? And I think I'm gonna I'm gonna hold my sandwich up to my mouth.
Yes.
To hide what I'm gonna say.
Yes.
I know what's happening here.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say.
By the way, he did not get the insight, that sort of sense trouble insight that you got.
Yeah,
right?
no. He doesn't know. And why would he?
Yeah.
He didn't see pictures of himself with grease pen. And so I think Vivian knows how cameras work. They're not but she knows that. And I think she's going to just say real quick, I'm going to follow up on this. There is a chance the truth will die with me. And I think she's going to if something doesn't come out within a week about this, I want you to go and I want you to find Carmela. Carmela is my assistant. No, she's not. She will be my replacement. I think that hurts a little bit. And she's like, if I go down, I want you to bring this to her. But give me a week. Your dad deserves a week. Your family deserves a week.
He says, I don't know if my dad's going to last a week.
How long do you think?
He's bleeding out of his nose, his ears. I think he's got a couple of days. Me mum, she's real angry. She's got the fire of the Irish in her, and she's mad too.
Give me 2 days. Give me 36 hours.
Okay.
And then I want you to find a payphone. I want you to call. I want you to look for Carmela.
Okay.
I will talk to Carmela on the other side. She's new. They don't know her. Because she was not
photographed because they don't know her.
They don't know her. So
and also because you two separated really quickly in the very beginning. You were not hanging out together, and then you left without her, which meant them not think that she was anybody important.
Because then I came back once it was all over.
Yep.
So I feel like I've never watched the show 24. I feel like Vivian's living her own 24. I'm writing down exactly how long it takes to get places. She's got a lot of time.
Yeah.
Go home.
And you can tell he is afraid for his dad.
Yeah.
Right? That whatever this is, it's really freaking him out, and he feels powerless and frustrated. You saw Benny. You saw that kind of wild anger, that kind of weirdly unfocused, manic, kind of wild, irrational anger.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not what this young man has. This young man is frustrated and angry and sad.
Yeah.
But he is very clearly...
It's righteous justice anger. It's the anger of the system is against him.
Yeah.
It's the anger of the young. I get this anger, and that's I have a plan. It might even happen for the 36 hours because we're going. We're doing it. We're doing it. Okay. So I think they're gonna finish their sandwich. I assume both of them don't actually eat it all the way.
Yeah.
Because we're not really that hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the oil's got cold.
Yes, it has, which makes it congeal a little bit.
Yeah, it's awful. And
Yeah.
I think like walk to the subway.
Mm-hmm.
When we're going down the stairs, so I know there's not as many like picture possibles.
Yep, that's right.
I'm gonna say we had a conversation about how you don't like how Foley is misusing your father's injury
no.
for his
No,
political campaign.
please don't say that.
No, that is what, if anybody asks you, you said.
Okay. But
And it's just a cover story, right? It's the like, it.
just that.
No one lies about it being worse, right? Like that's my head. Like if it's a pretty darn
Yeah. Yeah.
sorry for the curse, a pretty damning statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna be like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No one lies
Yeah.
about a worse thing.
But I'm going to tell you something. When you said that, you saw this flash of fear again in his eyes. He's afraid of Foley in some kind of a way.
Because Foley's negotiating for him.
Exactly. That's exactly correct. And you remember he said that they didn't think that they would get any money from Hudson and that all they have left is the union pension.
Right.
And Foley's in charge of the union.
Right. And he could just say, hey, I told him to not work anymore after 40.
Yep,
right?
that is correct. That is correct.
I get it. I'm just saying that's what he says if
yes.
Mark Arnold comes to him, right? Like,
yep. But you just saw that little flash of fear, and you see that he's sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? In this moment.
Yeah. And I think Vivian's not a hugger, so she's not gonna. She's gonna shake his hand.
He shakes it back, and like, you can tell that this is the kind of kid who's got like a really strong mom and a really strong dad who probably grew up way too young. Yeah. And has now all the responsibility of like taking care of like his family now that his dad is and by the way, they release him from the hospital because they don't think he's going to get better.
Right. I don't know if hospice is a big thing that he could afford. Right. Yeah. Like it's not looking good.
Yeah. Which is weird for just an explosion.
Right. That's why I think the medical examiner, like, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Phil's gonna be mad at her because she's gonna call Phil, and it's kid time because Phil's wife. Mm-hmm. I believe Phil has a kid. The kid's not a baby.
Nope.
But the kid's like what, 9?
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah. Like that's their time. And now he's gonna call she's gonna call home and be like, I need you to...
Yep. Can I meet you in the office? Yep.
Yeah, no, it's first gonna be just a call and be like, all right. So I think she gives a firm handshake. Keep your head up, kid. We're gonna figure this out.
All right, Miss Sinclair.
Or I'm gonna die trying.
Well, and then you see it on his face, all the guilt. You can't die. And you can see that if something happened to you, he's going to think it's his fault. You can just tell. Yep, you can just tell. That is how this kid is. This kid is in this mode where he's blaming himself for everything, right? He's not in a good way, right? Like he's clearly dealing with
and he doesn't have enough money to go to Louisa Reynolds. He could not.
That is correct. He does not have that kind of money. Nope. So don't go dying on me.
Wasn't planning on it. But she's still thinking about she got photographied.
Yeah.
It's always there. Mark Arnold, grandiose guy, breaks rules, like
weirdly paranoid. Weirdly angry Vivian all the time.
Is gonna give up a firm handshake. I think she told him to call the newspaper. There are phone books. He's gonna be able to find it. And as she goes down, she clicks on the subway train. She goes to the most populated subway car. Mm-hmm. Because that's what you do when you're being followed. Mm-hmm. And I think
go on.
I think she chooses that corner near the door between the trains. Mm-hmm. Right? And I think she actually like leans her head back. I think she sits down, and I think she just like puts her like head against the mirror, the glass mirror that is
Yeah.
just a reflection of her,
Yeah.
and she truly thinks maybe this isn't a normal, not spooky case.
Oh, I'm sure it's totally normal. Whatever that goop was, I'm sure that's
Listen, is there been
totally
a case
normal.
that's been not normal that had goop in it? Like, goop is not something that is found in normal cases. I don't
That's
think there's been
probably
a
true.
like I think like whenever she does like the don't look at this folder, it's whenever goop is found. And she's like,
Yeah.
like there are cases that are spooky without goop,
Yeah.
but there are no cases that have goop that are not spooky. It's an if and
Yeah.
then statement, right? If
Yeah,
goop's
I think
spooky.
you're right. Yeah. Yeah. So it's about like 7:30. What do you do now? You're on the subway.
I think so it's 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just to kind of talk about options so that the chat knows what we're thinking about. We have the construction zone.
Maybe it's a
right?
Gwyneth Paltrow thing. Maybe it's a Gwyneth Paltrow thing. The goop. Maybe it's totally normal. Oh, that's not really normal either. Go on. That's still spooky.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
It's extra spooky. So we
Yeah.
have the Bellevue Institute, which
Yep.
Benny is probably still there. Ira's probably not. Dan is
And
dead.
Phil Lentz, that is where Phil Lentz works as well.
Yes, but I don't think he's there right now.
Yeah.
And I did not call him before getting on the subway.
Although if people are dying, it seems like he's doing a lot of extra work.
We did the Union headquarters. There's no more information to go there. We have the construction zone. That feels like final boss territory. That feels like kiss my fiance, go there.
I feel like you could totally go there without a lot of information. I think that's great.
And now we also have just going to the newspaper. It might be a waste of time, but it's a way where you can like do some research.
That's right.
Send Carmela.
Right. Yep.
So I think she's not gonna go home. I think it makes sense to go to the Bellevue Institute.
Okay.
Because I want to see if Benny touched goop.
Yeah.
Or if he drank the goop.
If he whatever happened with licking the goop.
Because he didn't have burns.
No, because he was not there at the accident.
No, but he continued drilling in that space.
So
did the goop dry? Did it become dried goop?
So, all you know from your timeline, because this we're going to do before our break, right, is that there was like the miners were there blasting. There was some kind of pocket that was not mud, that was not empty. It was something else. There was an explosion. There was some kind of backsplash of this goop that covered them.
Yes.
Right? They got injured in this explosion, but all this goop, the other miners grabbed them, stripped them of their clothes, got all the goop off of them, and brought them up to take them to the hospital.
The goop still left burns, and now they're wasting away.
Yeah.
And slowly like, and that could be the sick thing. That could be a normal infection. But goop, man, it's the goop. And along with that is still her original case of corruption against Mark. Like, that still is a problem. She has so many things that this guy is bad. She has no way to report it except for I went to his office and I pilfered through his stuff.
But if you didn't actually take the stuff, you can't prove it. He could just burn it.
But also, if I took the stuff, I have a fiance. I know, and he's not crooked. I know the rules. If it's stolen, you can't use it.
Yeah. I mean, you could steal it and then anonymously send it in to the police, and then it didn't come from you. It's said that everyone's going to think it came from you.
Because like, O'Connell just found a whole document set, and his very loud girlfriend is also there.
Yeah. People are going to make assumptions. I will also note
we're all thinking it.
I will note the following for you to just ponder.
Yeah.
So this happened We know that Phil Lenz has been very actively interested in what's happening with them, coming by to visit their house, these sick miners, multiple times, taking blood samples multiple times.
Which is why I don't think I need to go to the house, because Phil will give me that information. He doesn't.
It does imply that maybe it's not just, especially since you talked to Phil about some stuff, that maybe it's not just like they have a cold.
Yeah, and Phil, because he's the coroner, he's seen the Scoop dog body.
Yes, he has seen the Scoop dog body.
He knows spooky stuff. I think he knows different spooky stuff.
Yeah.
And I think as a term, as a communication, they don't talk about the spooky stuff.
That is correct. First rule of Fight Club.
We don't talk about the spooky stuff, and now he's going to be mad because we're talking about the spooky stuff. Because I pointed out the spooky stuff, and now he just sees it, so he's a little mad about it, but playfully mad.
Yes. I will also note from your timeline.
Yeah.
That because there was this accident and people got sick.
Yeah.
Fully shut down work on the tunnel.
Yes. Which is good.
Which is going to bleed Hudson dry, because Hudson is not that big of a company. But they were in negotiations to try to figure out, they're like, we want a health inspector to come in to check this out. We want compensation for the.
But also, like, Mark is spending so much money on paintings and private eyes. So, like, private eyes.
And
regular eyes.
Yeah. Sometime in that time period, Mark Arnold, it seems to you, from what you can tell, goes behind his boss's back and hires homeless people and scabs and, to go back into the tunnel. And from what you heard from Raphael, the three men who have been weirdly, irrationally angry, who actually do have mining experience,
were the ones who are the deepest part. So
and
I know
he pulled them apart to go in, and what they told Raphael was that they were going to go and clear the stuff out so that you could keep pouring, right? The idea that maybe if they could get through whatever that problem was, then they could, start back up again with the miners. So the miners don't want to work through that unless they know what's up.
I'm just saying, there's a better way to clear it out than eating gunkfuls of the goo. Like, if they were hired to eat the goo, that's a mistake. Now, Vivian is like, usually she is like, any wasted time is wasted time. But I think she is just going to sit on the train. I think she is going to just exist.
Yeah. And you're going to head to Bellevue.
Yes. Oh, shoot. I should have done... Wait, can I do one thing?
Absolutely.
I want to take the train like I'm going home, go one stop, and then change trains.
Okay. I see. You're a little paranoid. Mark Arnold's paranoid.
It's not the same. I got pictures of myself.
Sure. And as you leave the subway and start heading towards to Bellevue.
Yeah.
You are walking.
Yeah. It's like 8:30. 8. Trains are fast.
8:30 at night. And it is just we're going to get a break soon. And as you're walking in the dark evening of New York, I would like you. I know you're a little paranoid. You want to get to Bellevue without attracting attention.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to roll sense trouble.
Okay. What's my hit? What do I need to hit?
8.
I do have 2
I'm
dice.
Sorry. 9.
To advance, I need
advance
a 9.
On a 9.
That's a high number.
It is a high number.
That's a high number.
It is.
Okay. But I don't have to decide if I need to use my push until
Pushes
after.
will not help you. Only extra problems or edges, and you do not have a sense trouble edge.
No.
And there are no extra problems for this one.
Cool.
Your first
Okay.
roll is a 4.
Okay, four is a good start. Because there is underneath advance pass with a problem. Right? That's what we're aiming for.
That is
'Cause
correct. Well, just not pass with a problem, just hold. No problem, just no bonuses.
Oh, okay.
Just
But
a
I don't know
mixed
what that
success.
number is.
That is
I
correct.
don't know. That number could be 8.
It could be 8. It could be 2. A 2. This brings you up
6.
to 6. Is 6 good enough for a hold? Or is it not good enough for a hold? I guess we'll find out when we come back from break.
We will find out from break.
Everyone, we're going to go on a 10-minute break. I want you all to stretch your legs, drink water, hydrate. And when we come back, we're going to find out as Vivian Sinclair, after having left numerous places that may or may not be observed, heads towards Bellevue to see the chief medical examiner and perhaps a very angry young man to find out what's happening as she finds out that these miners have been wasting away. And when we find out, we come back, we'll find out whether or not our Vivian Sinclair got a hold on her sense trouble or not.
A problem.
Everyone, we will be right back. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to Cthulhu Confidential X Astoria Part 2. I know that it said Part 1, but that was a lie. Just ignore that. Welcome back, everyone. We are, this is our second session, and when we last left, our protagonist was walking late at night towards the Bellevue, the sort of main medical place where we have the coroner, there's a prison ward, and is walking, and I had our JakiDash make a sense trouble roll to see if they noticed anything creepy or bad. Not that anything creepy or bad might be happening.
Just if I noticed a potential.
Right. And the number you got was a 7?
A 6. Even worse. 4 plus 2. Yeah.
A 6. I told JakiDash what the advanced number was, which was a 9.
Which advanced means you get, if you can hit the advanced number with a dice to spare, you get a positive edge.
No, you get a push.
Oh, sorry, you're right, a push. If you
hit it at all, you get an edge.
And if you and there's a meat number that we don't know. Which I might have hit. Maybe.
The setback number. If you do not beat the setback number, you get a problem and bad things happen.
Right. And so if it's it's 7 or 8. If the pushback number is 7 or 8, I'm in trouble.
That is correct. So let's just have a little bit of this. As you're walking late at night towards the medical examiner's office till Bellevue Hospital, you feel a bit of a chill as you're walking out there, and you realize there is almost no one else on the street at the moment. It's a sharp spring air. You do make the hold.
Thank goodness.
Which in this case means
What was
you
the number?
don't have any negatives
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
hear.
What was it? A 6?
It was a 4.
Oh my god. Okay.
But as you're sort of taking a
Mhm.
turn, you sort of move to a spot where there's not a lot of, there are no witnesses, shall we say. If you don't mind, I think I need, this one. All of a sudden, you notice 2 men have just sandwiched in between you, right on either side of you. And these 2 men, and there's a third, but 2 of them grab your arms, tough guys, and try to pull you into an alley. You have a test.
Oh, good. Okay.
You have a choice, fighting or fleeing.
Okay.
Your
Both
advance
of
is an
those.
11, by the way.
Both of those are 2 dice, so neither of those I get a benefit from. How can I? Okay, this is gonna help me to make sense. Can I see the building I need to go to?
Yes.
Is it?
It's not far.
Do I have to run past the alley to get to it?
You need to get these guys off of you.
Okay.
There are 3 of them.
Right, but only 2 have held me right now.
Yeah, and they're
the
just like, they
advances-
basically sandwiched, and they're gonna
Yeah.
try to move you into this alley.
And the advance is the same for both. There's not like a.
That is
So
correct.
I am going to fight then. I don't have my
Okay.
gun, but I do have a. I am firmly. That's my purse. I don't know you. Just immediately trying to do that.
Since
'cause
you are fighting,
Mm-hmm.
you get a +1 because you have a brick in your purse.
Yes. Yes. Backstory. Okay.
Backstory +1.
Backstory. A +1. Okay. Let's. Fingers crossed, man.
Your first number is a 4.
Four's not bad. 4's not bad, right?
Mhm.
11 would be great. If I rolled a 6 right now, golden. We don't know what this number is going to be, though. 4s and 2s, everyone. 4s and 2s. Same
7.
roll. Yes.
That's a 7. That's a hold, by the way,
Oh my god.
which is good for you. So these
Yes.
2 men are able to shuffle you off into this side alley, spin you around.
Mm-hmm.
And the third, you're facing this third one. He pulls out a switchblade.
Okay.
He sneers at you. You can tell a couple of things very quickly about
Yes.
him, but actually all 3 of them. 1, they have jobs. They're not underfed.
Mm-hmm.
They're not homeless. They are not mobsters.
I was about to say, they're
nor are
not
they-
mobsters.
No, they're not mobsters. They're not cops.
Yeah.
You're gonna guess private security?
Oh my
Maybe.
gosh.
You
Yeah.
did not roll in advance, so there's some information you don't get.
No, but I'm guessing they're the guys who are taking photos. Like, because I do know by flushing through the papers that they had the city cops were not going to be security for the space. They need to hire private security.
That is correct. And the guy up front. With a switchblade.
Yeah.
He steps up very close to you and he says, "So, feel like this isn't the kind of work for a pretty dame like you." why don't you cover some nicer story like fashion or garden? And he's got the switchblade up by your face in a threatening manner.
And so I got a hold. That's what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So do I get to act out my hold?
You do, but what I'll tell you is that basically you're not going to get super injured. You know what I mean? They're going to do a little bit of threatening of you.
Oh yeah, no. I think this is one of those like, if I got the advance, I would be able to like take the blade, do cool stuff.
Absolutely.
This is one of those like Vivian does look a little scared because there's a knife. But she also knows you gotta scream loud. Right? And
Yeah,
so Vivian is gonna say,
"Yep.
It's honestly so easy. Reporting on debutante balls, that's where it gets aggressive." And then I think I'm gonna scream. What would I scream to get attention?
That's good. That's good.
Help
That's
is not enough. Fire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna yell fire really, really loud.
Yeah. And like they see you like scream it, and they're like, just quit the case, and then they just like run because like they want to get their last threat in. But the minute you start screaming, they're like, oh yeah, no, we need to get out of here.
Do I get a cut? Is there any like, because there was a physical altercation, so I'm assuming like ruffles, but I'm like, if I talk to a cop and I have a cut on my face, O'Connell's gonna know.
So because you got a hold,
yeah,
right, and not a setback, you actually are not injured. They kind of like you maybe you might get a bruise on one of your arms.
Yeah.
But you can tell this. They were not hired to hurt you. They were there to threaten you. Right? That was they were there to scare you off, to make you quit.
They're gone, right? Great. Vivian is gonna like fall and just do one of those like little like crouches and like head between her knees, being like, oh my god, there was a knife.
You scared them off. They got what they wanted, which was to threaten you, but
and it worked.
But you also scared them off. That's like your hold. They're like, okay, well, right, like, but you know that they have been following you.
Yeah.
And you said it yourself. This is Arnold's work.
Yeah, like, I'm really, really glad I didn't get to see that kid is dead.
Yeah, and I think you also know that if you had gone to Omara's house, they would have known that you were talking to him.
Yeah.
That probably would have been real bad for Omara.
Yeah, I was correct. Does somebody come to the help to the fire, or it's still empty? So they probably didn't.
Well, the thing is, you wait, and then you're gonna hear like it takes a bit of time, but you hear some footsteps, right? And there's like a newsie who's like,
yeah,
is everything okay, miss?
Vivian loves to perform. I think she's gonna sit up.
And like he's got like a stack of newspapers, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, do I know this kid? Is he the Post?
He is the Post.
Great.
Not the Herald, but he's the Post.
Yeah. No, if he was the Herald, and Vivian is gonna like brush. I think she scuffed her heel. I think she was like when she got picked up, her heels, the tips dragged a little bit.
Yeah.
And she's like, "It is now. Thank you so much for checking. What's your name again?"
Petey.
Petey, you got good instincts. We're good to have you at the Post.
Oh, do you need anything?
Actually, Petey, can I see like, how close am I actually to the building I need to go to?
Oh, you're just like, it's like 2-3 buildings down.
Oh, then I'm gonna be fine. I was like, if it was like a couple blocks, I'd ask Petey, but I'm like, Petey, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for checking in. Keep that up. You'll be a reporter one day.
Do you want to buy a paper?
I'll buy a paper. Like, it's nighttime. Nobody's here. He's not gonna meet his quota.
No.
I'll buy a paper. Well, how much could it be?
It's like
5
a
cents?
nickel. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I am
And
spending...
he like picks up, like, I imagine like maybe if like something fell off of your jacket or something, like, picks up and he hands it to you.
Yeah, and I think she takes the paper and she gives the nickel. She says, thanks, Petey.
Do you need me to walk you somewhere?
You know what? I'm okay. I think I need to take a breath, but I really appreciate that's very gentleman of you. Keep that up. And I think Vivian
Kid's like
does
14.
not know how to deal with kids. And
Yeah.
I think like newsies are one age. They're the newsy age.
Yeah, they're the newsy age. They know how to dance.
Yeah, look at it. Yeah. They're the kings of New York. I think she does the scuff of the hat and then like just knows that was the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And then just walks away. Like he did not like that.
He just like watches you leave and he sort of looks around, picks up his newspapers, heads back out. Extra, extra, read all about it. Riot in Queens.
Weird lady in the alley.
As you head down to Bellevue, which, as you remember, is this sort of big, massive building, which is a big hospital where you have a prison ward. I mean, the county morgue is there, right? It's like all of those things are there. And one does not just walk into Bellevue. One must have a reason to be in Bellevue.
Here's the thing. People need to have a reason to go into Bellevue. Mm-hmm. Does Vivian Sinclair need a reason to go into Bellevue? Because she's, you know what? I actually think Pete doesn't have that much pull. I think she actually has to call for Pete.
Phil Lenz?
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, right. Phil Lenz. Because I think she knows the person who works the front desk, but they're not manipulating like Andy. Like she can't.
Yeah. Yes.
She's like, can you call Phil, please? I have some questions for him.
There's a woman. Her hair is graying, like pinned up. And she's like, and you are?
I'm Vivian Sinclair. I'm with the Post. I know Phil. We've worked together in a lot of cases. Phil owes me $3 for my last poker game. Bring Phil up.
Dr. Lenz? No, it is not your wife complaining about you still being in the office. We have a visitor. All right, I will tell them that you are not seeing any visitors at all.
It's Vivian! It's Vivian!
And she looks a little bit irritated. He says you can go up. And
thank you. Thank you.
And
Vivian is not a girl's girl. She's not.
No, she's not.
She's
this
not.
woman is also not a girl's girl. And she buzzes you in. And as you go through, they're police officers, right? This is a place where, as you're sort of moving, you know where you're wanting to go. This is a place where there are police officers, there are bars, there's like metal grates, there are like secure systems where you have to like go through one door, they let you through, then let you through the other door because they don't want people escaping, right? It's a whole exciting,
a big thing.
It's a fun place to be, shall we say.
I think it was fun the first couple years. And now mundanity is like what is it? Mundanity is like the weakness of security. Like now it's like
Yes.
I've done this so many times. I'm talking to the person. Like
Yeah. And you're directed up to, actually, you know exactly where Phil's
yeah.
office is. And you sort of head up to his lab. And there, it's, 8:30. He should be at home. However, that is not the case. Good old Phil Lenz is in his lab. He's got some
Oh yeah.
underlings who
Yeah.
are still there. And he is sitting there. Mm. Vivian, to what do I owe the pleasure
You gotta
of
let the
your
kids
visit?
go. You're here too late. I think they do like I think Vivian does do like the firm handshake, like the like
By the way, the kids, they're looking at you like, thank you,
yeah,
please, because they would like to leave as
yeah.
well.
But they
They
can't leave
really,
until he
really would.
leaves. Yeah. I
Yes.
remember the
Yes.
days where Phil was a coroner in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a big
Mm-hmm.
deal. Like
Mm-hmm.
and I think she'd like, she brought
Uh,
I oh, you go first. Guess why I'm here. Guess.
he goes and he reaches over and he's got a little tin of sardines. Sardines?
$2. Yeah. No, no, no. I know this is your new thing. Still don't like them. Still too fishy for me.
My wife says I need vitamin something or other, and or something, and he just eats some of these sardines, and
With
there's
his
the
hands.
smell of formaldehyde in this place.
With his
They're
hands that probably haven't been washed. Like he probably
Yeah, yeah,
stripped off his gloves and then
yeah,
started eating. Like
yeah, 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 and and he's like, take 15. And the underlings are like, and they just leave very quickly because they just want to get out if they can, not because they hate him or they're scared. It's because they just have been here for a very long time.
yeah, it's like 9 o'clock. Like
Yeah.
it's let the kids go.
Yeah. Oh, Vivian, let's see, what are you here for? You are here
Yeah.
for let me think. The body we fished out of the river.
You're gonna have to fill me in on that one the next game. But
Oh.
it's a good guess. No, you're doing house calls. You rarely do house calls.
Oh. Oh, you're here to talk about the miners.
Yeah. It's a big thing. There's a riot. I mean, you didn't hear. You've been in here all night. There was a riot.
Yeah, we
Union
got
versus
one of those guys in.
scabs.
Yeah.
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 Look at this paperwork. Yeah, that was Benny Miller. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. Not good, Viv. But
No.
that's probably not. If you're here for the miners, that's a whole nother thing, I guess.
I'll probably go see Benny afterwards.
Oh,
Take down the transcript of his growl for the paper.
no, you can't see him.
I could Phil, with all due respect.
Viv. Viv. You can't see him. He's not. He's we're keeping him sedated with phenobarbital. A lot of phenobarbital. I actually think we're gonna have to put him in a straitjacket. He's not doing well.
Yeah, because Phil doesn't say no to Vivian. Like, Phil's a chatty guy, and they both can talk shop. Like, this is a big deal. Okay.
He's I mean, you could go see him, but he's not really conscious, and when he is conscious,
he's punching.
Well, we've put him in a straitjacket, and we've kind of chained him down, but there's an underling that is missing. He bit Gary's cheek, just ripped off a whole piece of it.
Yeah, I saw him at the riot. He just wouldn't go down. It's like he didn't have anything up there anymore.
No, no. It's not good.
How can it be related to what the miners got going on?
Well, I don't think it is. I think that's
They were
totally
both digging in the
separate.
same. They were both digging in the same spot.
Uh, give me a second.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we had his friend come in, Ira Graber, give us a history on him.
Yeah.
He, 24-year-old male from Cambria County, Pennsylvania. A miner, coal country. Not doing so well. What I got is that this guy, Benny, suffering from some kind of a homicidal mania of unknown cause. His friend Ira said that he always had a temper, but that this is his behavior is new. Lots of violent altercations all week, all incited by the subject of her trivial matters.
You didn't talk to Ira, right? This is one of your guys
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
He's not.
I
You
was
didn't keep him.
No, he left. He said he went back to the breadline.
Okay.
But you said it might be. You asked about the mining.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Could have been affected by the greater depths and different atmospheric pressures on the most recent job. I mean, the kind of coal mining is not nearly as deep as this sort of a thing. Maybe it wasn't used to it, but the problem is the short lifespan of miners means we don't really have any opportunity to do long-term psychological assessments on the effects of working at such depths. So, I don't know. Look, this guy, Benny, he's got round-the-clock sedation because he's a danger to himself and others. He's not that interesting. You're here for, the Goop. Hmm?
Yes, I'm here for. If there's Goop, you know I'm following up on it, and you're the only one who investigates it. Two peas in a pod.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
He goes over to like a bank of like like a refrigerator doors, right?
Yeah.
And he pulls out a cylinder, like a
Oh yeah, like a
glass.
Resident Evil style cylinder.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, he does. Absolutely a Resident Evil style cylinder because that is great. And he says, "Okay." And before he does, he pulls on these thick padded gloves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does. And it's locked. He has to there's like a padlock. He unlocks this big refrigerator thing. And he draws out this big, huge Resident Evil kind of cylinder. And it is full of this thick, yellow, translucent, jelly-like substance. And he comes over and he takes this thing and he puts it right next to you.
Cool. I think I give it the space it deserves. I think I do. Like, I think as soon as I see that he puts the gloves on, I think if she was sitting, she doesn't any longer.
And then he unscrews the top. And he's like, and he puts his cigarette down so he doesn't get ash inside this thing.
Sure.
Because that would be bad, I guess.
Yeah.
And you can the door opens and like 3 or 4 of the underlings sort of walk in with cups of coffee. They see the drawers open and they just walk right back out again.
Yeah.
They just walk right back out again. And he goes, "Okay, Viv, stole me $3. Take a look in there."
I think Vivian does. Like, I think she's like, I thought. I think she looks over Okay, what does she see?
So this big, thick, yellow jelly-like substance, in the center of it, there is something else. In the center, there is this creamy bubble of like a mucus-like fluid right in the center of this jelly-like substance. It's sort of like suspended in it. And he says, okay. And he's like, gets frustrated, pulls off one of the gloves, picks his cigarette back up again.
Okay.
So, this here, look at that baby. Look at it.
That's a baby. A baby what?
Oh no, it's just it's a saying.
Oh.
That is the only thing I could scrape off of the uniforms of those sandhogs.
So, the goo or the inside? Because
that inside, that's the goo. Oh, that yellow. Oh, and he starts. All right, so look, thinks about it.
Yeah.
So what that is all that I could get out of the mucus. It's very acidic.
Yeah.
And it's what I got from the clothes. Yes, it's kind of funny. And he looks back to see where the onions aren't there because he was going to share the joke with them, right? He's like,
yeah,
this mucus, it just ate its way through everything. Really acidic. We put it in like a metal thing, it ate through the metal. We put it through a glass thing, it ate through the glass. You know how many containers I lost to this thing? So many. Yeah, just but on the plus side, it didn't dissolve at all. Just slowly wearing away at whatever I try to put it.
And did it stop because it's cold?
Nope. Let me tell you, my poor interns there, they started freaking out. We spent the entire afternoon in a bit of they were panicked. Just trying to keep putting it into things that it kept just eating through. And so I was like, okay, tried everything I could. Whatever kind of substance I could find to try to suspend it, and that would eat through it. It's, it went through lead, went through limestone. I just kept putting different things underneath it as it just ate through each one, little by little. This was my idea. This is this jelly. It's a mix of bases, which, well, keep it stable enough that, I can work on it. Though, since I've had it, I've had to keep refilling this jelly multiple times. It's eating through it, but much more slowly, so I can still try to figure out what it is. Guess.
I'm going to take my pen. I'm going to hit the side of the jar. Does it do anything?
It just kind of like jiggles a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay,
Put
good.
your pen in there. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. She does. I think like.
Go ahead.
I think
do it.
Vivian is someone that if you dare her enough, she'll do it. So I think she you know what it is though? I think she pulls out a pencil. I don't think it's gonna be a pen. Pencils are cheaper. And then I think she puts it lead tip in, and she starts to put it down. It goes through the yellow goop, which we now know is like an agar
Yep.
bait. Okay, cool. And I'm assuming as she pushes it, and I think she stops at the yellow. Does it swallow the pencil, or does the pencil just gravity fall?
The pencil gravity falls.
Okay.
And slowly, not much faster than you would like, just starts getting dissolved.
So, the miners.
Yeah.
They're drilling. They hit through probably its own safety layer. They blast through that. They get to this white acid that gets on their clothes. Can't stop them. Why can't they get better?
That's a good question, Viv. So, I've done an analysis on this as much as I could,
Yeah.
and it's made up of a couple of different chemicals. I've never, and he looks, and his underlings are not there.
Hmm.
No chemical I've ever come across before, though. Chemicals of unknown origin, shall we say? That's what I wrote down. Maybe think about. Anyway, I'm making slow progress because whatever tools I use to poke at it,
Dissolve. You got
yeah, and I
half
don't.
the time you normally would.
Yeah, and I don't really have the budget to keep replacing them. Picks up a sardine, eats it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, these miners, they it's quite a thing. Their their blood, uh, they're getting progressively lower in their pH balances. Uh, their blood is getting more acidic with every day. Like a normal human's blood range, pH, it ranges
Yeah.
between 7.3 and 7.4 pH. The first sample I took from one of the miners was 7.25. Worrying,
Yeah.
and too low to sustain health, but not necessarily fatal. But since I've been doing house calls, their pH has gone from 7.25 to 7.2, 7.1. Gets lower than 7, they're gonna die. And can't figure out why this is happening. I can't find a way to reverse it. I don't know what's causing it. And the
Because
lungs
they're
of
getting
these guys.
baths. They're getting all the
Yeah.
treatments, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So have you ever heard of a disease like this?
Nothing. There's no seeming cause for it at all. And Viv, they are their lungs are trying to compensate. They're getting a lack of oxygen, and they're gonna suffocate in their own bodies if this just keeps happening.
Because and this
And
is all because of the accident.
well, it's all been happening since the accident, and they getting really bad lesions on their bodies, just on their skin. Uh, it's pretty fascinating, actually. I haven't figured out yet if it's the acid, if it's that goop that did it, or if it's just the lack of oxygen to their body is causing these lesions, but or something else. And I blame you, actually, Viv. I blame you.
You can't blame me. I didn't know about it till today.
No,
Today.
no, I blame you for something else. My wife blames you too. We both blame you.
It's because I brought you the goo.
It's because
I brought you.
you made me go outside of the office to investigate. You used to stay inside the lab. Now you got me going out looking at things.
Lenz, you were always going to be an investigator.
Uh,
It's why you got into this, right? You weren't getting into this to. That's why you were a coroner. You wanted to figure stuff out. I will take the fault for opening the door on the
we don't need to talk about it.
weird stuff. I brought the weird stuff in. Your wife will miss her meatloaf. But I'll make myself sparse there.
I did some digging into Hudson Enterprises, their records.
How'd you get them?
Oh. I'm a coroner. Sometimes you need things. I said I needed to figure out about treatment.
Right.
Um, figured out where it happened from their records.
Is it where they said it was?
Well, I didn't really say,
Mm.
but where it happened is interesting. I don't know if this means anything, but it happened directly underneath the Corona Meadows ash heap. I mean, a couple 100 feet below it, but I don't have enough evidence to launch a health investigation yet. But what if whatever's causing this acidity came from the ash heap above and it leached down into the earth? What if the Brooklyn Ash Removal Company disposed of dangerous acidic substances? What if they dumped? What if the Brooklyn Ash Removal Company just dumped acidic substances in the ash heap, and that those substances leached down into the ground, and all of them together in some kind of dangerous combination could have made something, and then maybe it just leached down below and got far enough down that maybe it just pooled down somewhere below, and that's where the miners encountered them. I didn't start an investigation yet because I didn't have enough evidence, and I figured there was no digging, but then it turns out there was. I spoke to Foley, the union guy. We both agreed that we need to have an inspection, but I've been spending all my time looking at this. I was waiting to hear back from Foley or Hudson, and gotta say, I don't know what's going on with Benny, but he didn't have any of the goop on him, and so that's something. And none of them are getting that kind of burning or...
Yeah.
I'll call Hudson. I'll tell him they gotta make sure nothing's happening, but... That's the best theory I can come up with is that maybe it's just industrial runoff.
Maybe it's just industrial. Maybe, you know what? That would play the cards. Corporate greed leads to a corporate mess, leads to the people of New York get a hit.
Yeah.
Can I ask? And we can fix it in the normal ways.
Yeah, maybe we just need some kind of industrial cleanup. That's all.
Yeah. Are you willing to be on the record?
Well, I don't have evidence just yet. I can't prove it.
Yeah, but are you willing to state that the people are hurt because of acidic explosions? Like, are you willing to talk about the injuries of the bodies, per se?
Sure. Of course. Why wouldn't I
always like to ask. There's been a lot of people who have been on the record lately, but I'm trying to loop something in with Hudson. Hudson's doing some fishy stuff, and if I can start a loop on, hey, miners got really injured, they put scabs in, I have scabs to say it was a Hudson guy, we might be able to get things moving faster. Criminal investigations move faster than... That's a lie. Corporate ones go faster. But there's something blocking this. There's something blocking this.
Well, if it's just the ash heap, then it's nobody's fault. Just some kind of bad problem, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. This Hudson... Something seems weird with this. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. There's...
Rush?
Mark Arnold. Something seems with this Mark Arnold guy.
I don't know him.
Good. Don't know him.
Hey, I don't think these miners are going to last much longer.
I don't think so
either. I can't stop it.
I can't go visit them.
I don't have enough.
If I go to the families,
materials.
Oh,
sorry.
No, it's okay. If I go to the families, it puts a wedge between negotiations, bad faith, union loses its pension. So going to you, I'm not going to the families. We can get some good done.
You're gonna look into this, right? Have you told Joe about this?
I'm gonna tell Joe about this.
you can figure out what this is, get me some more information, then maybe I can figure out a way to stop it happening for anybody else.
Wait, so if I can figure out what's down there, you could save those miners?
I'm not saying that, but maybe we can stop it from happening again. Get like a bigger sample or something.
You got any jars?
He sort of like taps on his jar, right?
Yeah.
Full of the jelly.
Give me a jar.
What?
Give me a jar. We're not, I mean, I'm going to go see Joe. Joe could send a guy in there. Well, he's got to get a warrant. But then Joe could send a guy in there. If we can save 2 more days. We got 2 more days on these miners.
Vivian,
you're not going down
Joe
there.
If Joe were going to go down there, then he would ask for this jar. But you're asking for this jar, and I don't want to get in trouble with Joe.
Well, you don't want to get in trouble with me. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm not saying I'm going. I'm not saying I'm not going. How much is a jar? How cold do I have to keep it?
You don't have to keep it too cold. No, I'm not having this conversation with you. It's probably just industrial runoff.
Here's the thing. Let's go through the It's just industrial runoff. Let's say that right now. Okay? We're talking. Just industrial runoff. I'd love it to be industrial runoff. If we go through the works, I publish something tomorrow. Accident, terrible accident, talk about the acid, talk about Hudson's going to burn it all down. Hudson's going to wipe the floor clean. It's going to take 2 weeks to get someone in there. If it's not caved in. But give me a jar. Maybe we do some good. Can I?
This is when you use a push.
I don't want to use a push. I only have 2.
You can get more.
Okay, I just want to check in. This jar.
Mm-hmm.
It will let me hold more of the white goop.
It might also protect you from the white goop.
I do, yeah, because I can just smother my body.
Mm-hmm. 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 That is correct.
I do need this goop then. I do need the
goop.
goop.
I mean, you don't have to have it.
Gosh, I feel like, you know where you say the word enough that it gains more power and less power at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah, Goop has a weird power over episode 2.
Yeah. That's going to be the title for the episode, Goop.
Goop. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how I'm gonna swing this. Lenz. Give me the jar. And then I think she goes from her wallet, and I think she puts down the $3, and she's like, now you gotta play me another game, because we're even. And you know how we hate being even. So I gotta live. Gotta make it out. No.
And he just walks over, pulls out another jar, puts it on the counter, takes his jar with the creepy thing in it, puts it back in, and he's like, gosh, there's just a lot going on in here in this refrigerator. And with his back to you.
Yeah, there's no interns in here, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Just Vivian has enough space for the jar. It's going to be a hefty bag, But I think she takes off her jacket and wraps the jacket around the jar and then puts it in. Like just a
Yep.
little extra security.
Yeah.
I will lose the push token.
Please do. Please do.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at this. It's by itself. It's so lonely over there.
It is so lonely. And he says, hey, if you find out anything that could help, will you let me know?
Absolutely. I will call your home phone. Go home, Lenz. I'm going home. She is not going home.
Yeah.
I'm going
And he looks
home.
at you and he's like, interns, we're going home. And like,
Yay!
yes,
Yay!
so we're like, oh, thank you. And he starts packing up as you leave.
Is it Dr. Lenz now for the paper? I think like she's at the door.
Yeah, Dr. Lenz. And he
Yeah.
sort of thinks, looks real bad. Vivian, maybe don't tell Joe all of it.
Joe knows some of it. It'd break his heart if he knew all of it.
Yeah. Takes a sardine, throws it up, catches it. Let's go. I would like to show you something as
Yes,
you are leaving
please
the building.
do.
Yeah, I want to show you something because you are leaving the building, and I want you to know something because he mentioned something, and I want you to know a bit about it.
Yes,
Because
the ash heap.
the ash heap, the Corona ash heap. See, this is a thing that you, as a New Yorker, would know all about.
Absolutely.
It's on the corner of Flushing and Queens. So, in this photograph that I'm showing you, you might notice right up here, let me so you can see it. This little figure, that's a human being, right there.
That's so big.
That little black spot right there on the top, that is a human being. Yes. What are the Corona ash heaps? They don't exist anymore, thank goodness. Now it's a park today. But, so back at this moment, most people still heat their home with wood burning stoves. And wood burning stoves create lots of ash.
Yes.
And lots, not just people, but also buildings. All sorts of people are burning wood. And where does the ash that comes out of that?
Because you don't want to put it with the garbage. That's a fire hazard.
That is a fire hazard. So there is an ash heap. It's called the Corona Meadows, is what they call it. And over 50 million tons of waste, ashes, and all the residue of burned garbage, because people love to go and burn garbage at this point in time, are dumped here, right there, on the border between Queens and Flushing. And it is a 90-foot, it's like a 90-foot rolling mountains of ash and burned toxic waste. And by the way, it's always smoking.
Awful.
It
Awful.
is-
Because it's always a little hot.
Yep, and it's just ruins, rubbish, burned garbage, ash. F. Scott Fitzgerald called it the Valley of Ashes. And
So this could do an industrial waste thing. Like, that's not an unreasonable
it's not
theory.
unreasonable. It's not unreasonable. But you are a reporter, right? You have been around for a long time. There are some things that you know. You know that most New Yorkers, when you're traveling on the elevated, when you go across, it's there. It is this terrible blight. It's awful, and it's always on fire, basically. And people just kind of turn their head and don't pay attention to it. Anytime you're trying to travel to the Queens, you're going to pass by this. And this is clearly unsafe, unhealthy, and toxic, but it's just a fixture of life in New York, just like the Statue of Liberty. People just sort of turn their eyes away from it for the most part. There are some things that you do know. You know that the Brooklyn Ash Removal Company purchased the land from the city, like around 09. You also know that in 1920, so like 14 years ago, the Department of Health reported that there were lots and lots of rats coming from the Corona Meadows dump, and they were like basically in it was like this is where rats like to live. So there's like a huge rat problem. And so the Department of Health had to go in there and check it out, and it turns out this place was awful.
Yeah.
And it caused negative conditions. Like basically all the homes around there are being flooded with rats.
And ash. And asthma. Like it's not
and
good.
asthma. Oh yeah, like basically people are like asthma, health conditions, like all toxic burning ash and dump garbage is all there, and people are just so basically what ended up happening is that around 1920 there was a massive, very expensive rodent elimination sort of process trying to get rid of the rats. It helped. You know that the Flushing River ran through this area, but it's mostly buried underneath the ash now. This is just really bad ecologically, but don't worry about it.
Yeah.
This whole area is mostly marshy historically. You remember there is the Herald. The Herald has a... You know this because you know who are reporters who are women. Like if there is a woman reporter, you know who they are.
We have luncheons. No, we don't.
You don't have luncheons. But no, there is a woman, a reporter named Molly Reed. I imagine you've probably read, if there's a woman reporter, you've probably read her stories or know what she's up to, right? She has reported a bit on the ash dump. She reported that earlier this year, the mayor decided to revoke all private ash dumping contracts, including the Brooklyn Ash Company, which is mostly, I think, about the fact that people think this is probably unhealthy, and they don't think that maybe private companies should just be dumping whatever they want to dump.
So, like, maybe get it out of the city, or maybe the government's going to figure it out, or just pour it in the ocean.
Something healthy like that.
There's a lot of ocean near New York.
Yes, there is. LaGuardia basically has ordered that every day 110 tons of ash and waste gets dumped on this place. They just keep dumping more and more and more. And apparently he's ordered this to stop happening because it's causing a lot of health problems, and they're trying to, but they still don't know what to do with it. And Phil Lenz says that according to the maps, the accident happened underneath it, the area where this ash heap is. His theory is that maybe chemicals went from up top and just leached down below, and that's what it was. But
I can work with maybe. Like, I like truths, but I can let people connect the fact that ash heap miners got really hurt
and sick.
Corporate greed. I don't need to know exactly what goes in between there, but this is the story that Vivian is actually writing in her head as she goes back to the newspaper.
Can I say one thing though?
Absolutely, you can. I'm never going to stop you.
He went with that theory, right?
Yeah.
And it's a good theory, I guess.
It's a good theory.
It's just that when he said that they were chemical compounds that he'd never seen before and was not able to identify, feels to you like maybe it's toxic industrial dumping feels like the thing you say when you would like that to be true.
I mean, I've reported on Goop stories. I don't say it's Goop. Like,
I think he would like it to be something like
we would all love it to be industrial waste. That would be fantastic.
I mean, that'd be terrible, but I mean,
we've seen what's worse is out there. We've seen the worst that's out there. So, like, Vivian is going to head to the newspaper factory. That's not what they call it. To her office.
Sure. Yes.
Wait.
Absolutely.
Wait a second. I just realized that's outside and it's probably 11 p.m.
Oh, no, you're not that late. You're probably now at like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, because it was 8:30 when we got there.
Yeah. Probably like 9:30.
Yeah, I got assaulted at 8:30. That's a normal time to get scared and jumped at.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna say it's 10.
I don't know if you know this, but I would also say Ira Graber is sort of a little bit missing, as it were. I suppose we could put it that way. He split.
Yeah, he gave the information and then bounced. I know, not worth it to get in trouble to sneak to talk to that guy. If I get in there, if I break in to talk to
Benny,
who's
sedated,
very sedated, I'm gonna get caught and I'm not gonna learn anything, and both of those are bad.
But Ira might have info.
Well, we don't know where Ira is.
Well,
we just know that Ira bounced.
There are only a few places where people like him go. And they did say he was going to go back to the red line. Yeah. Yeah.
I could write the story and let me tell you the plan. This is the plan.
I'm ready.
I'm going to write a story that is going to connect all the information that is easily obtainable. No one gets in trouble. I'm going to say, following up, we know there was scalpers were hired. Scalpers were hired by
Scabs.
Sorry, thank you. Scalpers are for tickets. Scabs are for your body. So scabs were hired by Mark Arnold. So we have that. That is a thing that is true. So then I say, as a reporter, talk to Foley. Foley says the accident happened, and that's why the union is currently striking, there's scabs being hired. I'm also going to talk about the injuries from Dr. Lenz and how it's looking pretty grave, and that it is the acid underneath the hill. At the same time, I am also going to write an anonymous tip to the police department to be like, hey, Mark Arnold is a problem. I think you should get a warrant. Because I have heard. I have heard. Yeah. Because I have heard from a source that. Oh, no. I can say this. I got threatened. That is true. I can go in and make a report and say I was threatened because I was following up on the Mark Arnold story. This is unrelated to being in his office. I think you should maybe look into that. I bet evidence for who those guys are in Mark Arnold's office.
You're going to go down to the office and make a report?
I think I'm going to go down to the office and make a report. I'm going to make the report before I type up my story because I want the warrant to go through when the story's going through, because otherwise they'll burn all the files. So I need to make sure the warrant goes through. Now, I'm still going to have my jar of goop.
Yes.
And I am
Maybe-
also...
Maybe ways to cure these miners might be down there.
Sorry?
Maybe the way to cure the miners might be down there.
Oh,
Something.
no. This is just part one. This is
Oh, no.
part one of the plan.
I'm just trying to
Part
instigate
one-
it. Looks like I don't need to instigate. It looks like you're going to make bad choices.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
excited.
Absolutely.
excited.
But
Mhm.
I need to make sure that I keep my job. I get my dream of being in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
So that if anything happens after that,
Mm-hmm.
I got in the paper.
Okay.
You're
gonna write the first version of this story just in case you know.
That's the one that I want to send out because I'm but I know.
I have a question. Do you send it out to be ready, or do you send it to Carmela and only have her deliver it if you don't get back?
I think this is I think adding the tagline at the end of this to be like more will be uncovered so it's like some people are gonna buy more papers. So like, you know, continue an investigation. The Post believes in finding the truth and not reporting half truths. So there's gonna be a big Sunday paper edition of the full story. Wow.
We're talking government corruption. We're talking
government, but I am not reporting on the government corruption yet because I want that to be picked up by the warrant. So here's the chain of events.
Tell me.
Okay.
I need to know for note purposes. Oh, also I'm not Phil, so I can take off my lab coat. Hold on.
Yeah, because it's so first thing I'm gonna do.
Oh, this is gonna be so bad for so many people. I'm so excited. Go ahead.
Make the call to the police department and say I was attacked. Okay, number one. At the same, and I'd like a police escort. At the same, no, wait, shoot, I can't do that because then they're gonna see it and they're gonna burn all the paper. So I have to walk to the. Oh, but I can't. Okay, I got it. I'm ready. Okay. I'm gonna call the police department. And I'm gonna try to disguise my voice. So it's not O'Connell. I don't want O'Connell to know.
Because I'm just gonna note if you say that you've been attacked with your name, you know that's gonna get back to Joe, right? I mean, like real fast. Like as a matter of fact, he'll get on the phone. Do you know that, right? And then he's going to want to see you immediately. And
we have a date at 6.
Because you know Joe. You know Joe. If you report that you've been attacked right now, Joe's gonna have feelings. I just want you to know that.
I'm only gonna be emotionally handcuffed. I'm not gonna be physically handcuffed in the safety room. I have to know.
He's gonna want you to come in and make a statement, and then he's gonna freak out, right? Like you know.
To be able to get the warrant, I have to do this, and that's more important than the Goop. That being said, I'm Vivian Sinclair. I think our last conversation went well.
Yeah.
Why would O'Connell not let me leave after my statement?
Because you got attacked by people who are trying to kill you.
No, it'll be fine. That's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah. So that's the plan. I'm gonna go with that one. I am currently writing the story on a piece of paper as okay.
So excited.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. It's very important to get the series of events correct.
Oh,
apologies for everyone in chat.
No. It's important because the minute Joe finds out that you've been attacked by goons,
there's a time.
That's gonna change things.
I'm so sweaty on my wig. Because here's the problem.
By the way, if you want to go and investigate things outside of the police department, it might be a little bit tricky for you once he knows that people are following you and trying to attack you. Because you know how he is.
Just let me think about this. Let me think for a second.
I'm saying you can definitely tell your fiance that 3 men attacked you with a knife, and that they're connected to Mark Arnold, and he will definitely do things about it. But he may not want, look. So what, I'm going to just tell you a very likely thing because you know him.
I do know him. Like,
very likely he'll be like, oh, we're going to need you to, like, we're going to need your statement. And
you're
gonna
going to
need you
stay here for
to
the
go and look
whole
at-
day.
Yeah, to look at books. He's gonna have an excuse. He's gonna need you to look through all of the mugshots, and he's going to keep you in that police precinct
Until the warrant is done.
Yeah.
And I guarantee Mark Arnold is not going to be in his office. Mark Arnold's going to be in the place.
That's probably true.
Okay.
And I'm just telling you this because you know your fiance. You know
I do
how
know my
he
fiance.
is.
Yes.
And
I would know
he
this.
gets worried about you. This has been a point of contention.
Rightfully, if Vivian is to be honest.
Because sometimes you go to places that are dangerous.
But
you do have a jar of like anti-goop right now.
I do have a jar of anti-goop. It would be romantic if we both went into the tunnel of death, made it the tunnel of love. That's a Claudia statement. That's not a. That's not a.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it better if he's dead, or I just betray his trust and love? True questions. Okay. Here is okay. How do I do this without ruining anyone's life? I'm going to. I need to type. I will do anything for a story. I'm going to type up the story. That is unquestionable. The story saying there's going to be more to follow, which puts a huge target on my back.
It does.
Is going to be there. Okay? I'm also, while I'm going and I'm typing up the story, while I'm doing that, I'm going to jot down all the other things. Everything else I know, I hate to say it, I probably have a weird stuff journal on my desk. Yeah. It's probably just about weird stuff. I'm going to start a new chapter. I'm going to write all the weird stuff, including, hey, I got a jar of goo. Okay?
Anti-goo.
Well, good goo.
Good goo. Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
I'm going to do that. But I need the warrant to go through. Wait a second. If I investigate and live, then I see him at 6, and then I say I was assaulted.
That's true.
And if I don't get caught, Mark Arnold will be none the wiser. I feel like that's the best plan. The only one that will be disappointed. A plan. The only one who's going to be disappointed is at 2 p.m. when the cops don't come to the appointment with the secretary. She's going to be pretty mad when they come early to completely ransack the office.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the other stuff I'm going to write in. Okay. This is very scary. Okay. In the envelope, because Vivian knows this is not going to go well. She's going to write she's going to the audience, the viewers watch as Vivian takes out her personal stationery from her desk and she writes a letter. And the letter is not it's probably actually the letter takes longer than the newspaper story. And she finishes the letter and she folds it up and she puts it in the journal, and you could see the top of the letter or the top of the envelope that's from the journal just says Joe. For Joe. And you know what? She pauses and she puts a little heart at the end of Joe. And then she puts that on her desk. It's on the top of her desk. So, like, if anyone is going to clean out her desk, they will see it.
I'm giving you the sad music now.
I know. I am. Okay. It's
So
not
you
like
put
Joe's a. It's not
you
like
put
Joe's a
this
bad
note.
guy.
No, he's a good guy. That's why he really cares about you
That's why he really cares.
and doesn't want you murdered by mobsters or
The
what else.
mobsters.
Uh,
Why didn't I think of this before? I'm gonna. As she's putting. As she is closing the book,
uh-huh.
and as I assume she opens the drawers, I think she has like a matchbook from the last place she hung out with Marty,
Yep.
and she's like, "Ha! You know who can break the laws? Mafia." And
It's
so
true.
basically, this is good. This
Is
is
it good?
good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe not. I think. Okay, so what is the problem I'm having? I could die. Oh, I can ask Marty to help me, but then Marty's dead. I can bring Marty. Can I ask Marty to help me with this? Do I want to kill Marty? I'm killing Marty. Or I can ask Marty to get the stuff in the office. But if the mafia dropped the stuff out the office to the cops, could that be used as evidence?
If the cops, this first off, it's also 1930s, and the police are a little bit corrupt. But
Oh, yeah, yeah.
as long as they don't do it, right? If somebody drop, like if a whistleblower drops stuff off,
Yes. Okay, that's it. Because then I don't. Okay, because then there's no rushing
mm-hmm.
unless there's an evil nuclear bomb under the ash pit. There's not going to be an evil bomb under the ash pit.
No, obviously not, because nuclear bombs haven't even been invented yet.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's like, because then Joe doesn't have to know, and so she won't get in trouble, and the evidence will be collected,
Mm-hmm.
and then she could still make her 6 p.m. breakfast.
6 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Okay. That's it. I'm gonna call in the favor. So, Vivian picks up the phone. This is definitely not a death flag, by the way. Using up all her favors, not a death flag. Vivian picks up the phone and dials it, and it's to the number on the matches.
Yes. Ciro's restaurant. How can I help you?
Hi, Ciro. Is Marty there? Tell him Viv's on the line.
One moment.
Yeah.
And then patch through. Hey, Viv, how are ya?
Marty. I know we haven't seen each other in a while, except for at poker, and you do owe me $11.
I know, which seems like you're cheating. How are you such a good? Why is your poker face so good?
I know how to read people, Marty, and that's why I'm going to offer you. I'm going to offer you something you can't refuse.
Oh, that's a good line.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll use
I
it
know you
later.
should use it sometime.
Yeah. What you got?
I am going to offer you the chance to not get involved in the spooky stuff, but get involved with a favor with somebody you want to have a favor with. Because I bet you want to have a favor with Foley.
Foley of the Union, yeah?
Foley of the Union.
What's going on? And
long story short, I can't do long short stories. Mark Arnold is doing some weird stuff. Mark Hudson Industries beat you out of your contract.
Yeah, I remember. I didn't
like it. Well, he's got a lot of incriminating evidence in his office. I know it's there. It needs to get its way to the precinct.
First off,
yeah,
Vivian Sinclair. I am shocked, I tell you, that you might have broken into someone's office. That's
no. I just no. We're no.
I'm scandalized. So what kind of evidence might be in this office?
Corruption. We could get a mayor kicked out.
Oh.
Um,
Mm.
there's stuff about the union workers at the Scabs. Stuff about your best friend Viv. All I'm saying is get everything in that office in a box to the precinct.
And how does this help me?
You got to keep that $11. And your conscience gets lifted from that time we met.
Yeah.
You're friends with Foley.
Yeah.
You got revenge on this this Industries. You might even be able to pick up the deal. If Hudson Industries goes bankrupt from this, who's going to step in? Work with Foley, work with the union.
So there's evidence of whoever might have been trading with this Hudson Enterprises, is that right?
There's evidence that the mayor gave insider knowledge to Hudson to get the deal.
It's an alderman.
Oh, thank you, alderman. Thank you. There's also evidence that they have been tracking people. So just
okay,
what is
but
that
here's
called?
my question.
And
I
not
see what you've got going.
Threatening. Yeah.
Wait, who do they threaten?
Me, your best friend Viv.
Who threatened you?
Some private investigators that are on their payroll. So if you get all their information, maybe you'll get a deal
with a guy
with
named Mark Arnold. You said
yes.
They threatened you. I see.
His private investigators did. Don't worry about. I mean, I'm hoping my husband can deal with Mark because you know him. If you take him away from Joe, he's gonna be pretty mad.
But you aren't calling your fiance, not husband yet. You're calling me.
Yes, sir. Think of
You're
it
telling
as
me about the threatening. I understand.
Think as a wedding gift for me and Joe. You're giving us a box of this evidence
with someone's head in it. I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, you evidence, right.
Yes, yeah, right. Yeah. Marty, I will warn you. I don't want you like this Mark Arnold guy.
Yeah.
He's got a real piece of work. And I'm talking like he might be playing with stuff that's stronger than guns.
Yeah. Well, I bet his knees aren't stronger than a baseball bat.
I don't want to wake up and see your name on the paper.
I've been around.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't worry about
I need you to just find this box. If you can do it tonight, it's clear.
All right. Well, can I just hold on to it for a little while before I talk to some politicians? And I can keep copies, right?
Deliver the box. You can keep copies. I want everything in the box delivered tonight.
Tonight, come on, Viv. Give me a little time to go through it and see who might want to talk to before the police get it.
No.
Come on.
We this guy injured a bunch. This guy killed a bunch of. He hasn't killed him yet.
Look. Why
do
it
as a favor for me. I'll give you 24 hours with the box, but get the box out of there as soon as you can, because I think he might try to torch it.
Oh, I'll get rid of it tonight. I'll get everything. I might leave him a present as well.
Don't mess with the secretary. She's nice.
No.
Yeah.
But if he's been messing with me, with my friends, well,
with your friends,
maybe I'll just leave a little message for him.
Sounds great. 24 hours with the box. 24 all of the contents gets to the precinct.
All right. Can I keep anything? Just
You
to
can
the
keep-
side if there's something useful.
If it's not related to all of this, you can.
All right, so I get to keep blackmail material if I were to do such a thing.
Keep anything on the side that's not related to to this situation. If Hudson Enterprises blackmailed some other union group or some other companies, absolutely. But I want them going down.
Viv,
Mm.
I'm doing you this favor because you are all right, even if you have bad taste in fiancés. I don't know why you want to go and marry some side of copper. One that's not even in my pocket.
I think that means he's a good copper.
Who likes good cops? Nobody.
I do. He's a good guy.
I
Marty,
know.
Marty, if you could have, you're a good guy too.
I know.
Another
I'm a better
world,
guy.
Marty. Another world, Marty.
Well, still a long way from now to the aisle, but I'm gonna go and take a visit to this office and leave a message that nobody messes with my friends.
Thanks, Marty. Hey, when's the next poker game?
Well, are you good for Friday?
Am I good for Friday? I feel like I agreed to something else on Friday.
You did.
Yeah, I was like, didn't I agree to my cousin's hangout?
Yes.
Wait
Yes,
a
you
second.
did. Yes, you did.
Just a second.
Yes, you did.
Marty.
Yep.
Actually, this is quite funny.
Mm.
My cousin's in town. You want to meet the fam?
Sure.
Yeah, I bet she'd love to analyze you.
Okay. That's what I like about you. You're not highfalutin. I'll be happy to meet your cousin.
Yeah.
Is she single?
No.
All right. Well, is she Italian?
Am I Italian?
No.
No.
Well, all right. I'll still meet your cousin.
All right, wear your nice clothes. I'm bringing Joe.
Ah.
Hi.
If you would.
If you're just tuning in, this is the only bad decisions run. This is the only social consequences run.
Would you please delete your Marty Respect Edge, as you have now used it?
But I still have the respect. I just don't have
yes.
the card.
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay.
The respect is there. You just don't have the favor anymore. Mm-hmm. So, you have 6 mobsters to go and ransack an office.
I hope they rip the painting. They can keep that one for free.
Oh, they're probably gonna go and put a knife through the painting and scrawl threatening messages on it because, that's how they are.
I think that's appropriate. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah. Let me ask you, where do you go now?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've written
You've got
the story.
mob gonna go ransack an office, get incriminating evidence for themselves and others.
Yeah, hold it for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get some money and then drop it off. I'm okay if they make money from corrupt politicians. And then
what they're planning on doing, and you know it, they're gonna get all the evidence of people being corrupt, make sure they have copies, and then visit those people and say, hey, why don't you work with us? I would never work with you. You're the mob. Interesting. Here's some paperwork. They're going to
Vivian's helping the city. Hey.
Yes, you are.
I mean, truly, she's trying to because I have the paper. I have the paper written up. I think I have a note on it because I hope Carmela's not here. That's like a little post-it that says find a photo of the Ashtar or the Union or like I just need a good photo for this.
Yeah.
And then I think I go home.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a quick stop.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm gonna I think Vivian, and of course I'm being watched at all times, but I think Vivian is gonna try to get like year, like she's not gonna wear the outfit she has now, right? She
Yep.
probably has a pair of boots. They're like she
Yep.
probably has a pair of leggings.
Yeah.
Like it's New York. She's got a rain slicker. Let's hope it's yellow.
Yes. Yep.
Right? Yellow rain slicker.
Mm-hmm.
I think she wears even a what's it called, a black cap, not like a
Yeah.
baseball cap, but like
Yeah.
to keep her, and so it hides her
Like a
her
knit cap.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she grabs a gun,
Mm-hmm.
grabs a jar of dirt,
Yeah.
some gloves,
Yeah.
and the camera.
Yeah.
She's going in the tunnel. She's got to get the story. It's not even about all the people she might help. She's got to get that story. She has no idea
Vivian
what she's
Sinclair.
facing. Just that it's Goop. But it didn't hurt those people when they went in.
So I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, it just made them a little more extreme. But everyone wants an extreme Vivian. Some might say she's already there.
I will ask you, because this is the end of our session.
Second, I can't hear you really well. That might be on mine. Say it one more time.
This is the end of the session, my friend. We're wrapping up for today.
It feels like it. I've made enough mistakes. I've definitely made enough mistakes. Is it like 3 a.m., would you say?
Oh, no. No. It's not that late. You're probably still only around like 10 or 11 by the time you're going to get there.
I just want to make sure I have enough time to meet for breakfast. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, it will take you like 15 minutes just to pop down there, see what's up, leave. I'm sure.
I don't know how much time to go on each level of the oxygen. We'll figure that out next session.
So, there is a man, the one man left who was hired by Arnold to go in there, Ira Graber.
Yeah.
He's somewhere, not important.
I do know where he is.
Do you know where he is?
I could go quick stop at Hooverville.
You could?
Because the bread line's probably not open.
No. Do you want to meet with him before you go in there?
I should. That will be our next. We can, if you'd like, we can either do that session now, or we can do the top of the next one. Is yeah, I probably should meet Ira Gray, and then go get my gear on. Right.
He's the only person who is currently sensate who has been in there.
Yeah. Who's not Mark?
Mark is not sensate. He's not. He's sedated.
Yeah.
Mark Arnold. Has Mark Arnold been down there? That would be weird. Why would he do that?
But isn't that what his secretary says? Is that he's been down there a lot?
Well, that he's gone over to the staging area. Who knows if maybe he's just doing paperwork up top. Maybe he's never been down below.
Yeah.
Maybe he just goes there and does paperwork.
I will say for thematic purposes, she puts all the gear on. She's looking ready to go, and she's gonna go see Ira first. You know what? She puts an couple extra dollars in there. She's like, for bribes.
You go towards the Hooverville. And we will end as you head towards, there's more than one, but you know which one that Raphael.
Because we have the photos.
Yep.
We have the photos of like.
Yep. It's the one in Central Park, which is an entire mini city made of scrap wood and tarps. No electricity, no running water, no insulation, no heating. Shack after shack after shack of unemployed and lost people. And through this labyrinth, you can ask here or there, has somebody seen Ira? People will point that way, and you make your way slowly to the one person that you know of officially who has been down there and who is not either dying of something terrible
Yeah.
or in Bellevue in a straitjacket. Assuming,
Yeah.
of course, that Mark Arnold has never been down there, which, why would he
Yeah.
be? And it is a shack with a door that can't be locked that belongs to Ira Graber. And you can step up to the door. And that's where we're going to call it for today.
How was my freak out about my choices? How was that?
You know, you have made great choices.
Listen, if the box says to Joe, fuck you, the mob, it's gonna go pretty badly.
No, you called in the mob. You called in your favor. They're going to get all the evidence from that office.
Yeah. It's a long time coming. But I wasn't gonna
Yeah.
Vivian was not gonna call him to kill. Like,
No. Marty does have a bit of a temper. But it's okay. The mob now is going to be involved in this situation.
yeah. Vivian would have made in another lifetime a great mob wife.
I think she would have been a great mobster. Crushed it. That's okay. You've invited Marty to meet your family, so
and
that'll
Joe
be fun.
again.
And Joe. So I'm gonna tell you, next session is the last one.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. That's I'm looking right here, and I was like, yeah, you're. Hey, do you want to see something?
I do.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I do. I
Okay.
do. I have a lot of thoughts of what's going on in this game with my very rare knowledge of Cthulhu, like my very limited knowledge, and I think that's more fun because then I'm like, I'm discovering it with Vivian.
Oh yes. Here,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you something. It's
Yeah.
a present. Do you want to
I
see it?
I do.
It's a spoiler, and the spoiler is just there because I found this image and I want you to see it because I feel like you will find this image awesome.
Yeah.
Guess what that is?
Is that the pit? Is that the pit I'm going to have to go down?
Yes, it is.
I want to go down the slide. The
That
garbage slide
right there.
down. Yeah.
That right there is the descent down, down, down to where the tunnel is being built. That's the descent at the staging area. Real photo of the building of the New York Water Tunnel number 2.
Yeah.
That's the
wild.
yeah. I've got more photos of these tunnels, and let me tell you something. These are creepy. You'll love them.
I'm very excited. This feels right for New York. We've done a lot above the ground. Like, we got to get deep in there to figure out what's going on.
Oh yeah. Yes, I just want you to know that tunnel is terribly reasonable and nothing bad is going to happen there.
Nothing terrible will happen down there. Thank you, Other Doc.
Yeah. It'll be great. So, next week, next Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, will be the last session of Ex Astoria.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Perhaps Vivian will make it out. Perhaps she will use her jar of goop, good goop.
Good goop.
And perhaps she will somehow become a great fiance and never keep a secret again.
I am certain that is true. I feel like Joe does not know that you know Marty.
I think Joe knows that she's
you
got
hang out with mobsters.
I would think that he maybe like is. She's told him about all the stuff that's happened, which means he does know
that she undermined his case to help out the mob, though. I mean, I don't think she told him that part. I remember you said specifically that she didn't say that part.
The part where, because he was gonna catch the Irish mob and but he does know that she talked to him, like she talked to Marty in the first horrible thing.
Sure. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be a great, great, great evening.
You know what? Vivian's going into this and saying, "This is my last lie. This is my. I'm coming. Everything's
lie.
coming out. Yeah, this is the last
Sure.
night of lies. It's like a
Yeah.
bachelorette party, but it's all lies. I'm coming
You know what,
out
though?
a new woman out of this tunnel.
Yes, absolutely. No lies to
No
anyone.
lies. I'm gonna
Ever.
tell all. I mean, just to Joe. Hold the phone. Just to Joe.
I will say this. Clockwork Librarian says Joe does know that Vivian loves him, and that's all that really matters, right? It matters a lot.
It matters a lot. It's how they got this far.
It is how they got this far.
It's why she's not inviting him into the tunnel.
That would be a great idea.
I mean, it would make things easier, but that's how Joe dies, and we're not letting that happen.
It would also be a bit of, he might get fired too if he doesn't die, because you need warrants to go on private property.
Yes.
You know,
that's fair.
Yeah,
Vivian needs no warrants where she's going.
Vivian doesn't really get warrants. You know what I mean? She's not really a warrant getting kind of gal.
She understands them. She understands the concepts, but like,
yes,
who's gonna stop her?
She's
reporting the truth.
Yeah, what she's doing is great.
Yeah, working with mobsters. Yeah. Anything for a story. She might help some minors.
She might. So next week, I suppose you'll check in on Ira to see what he has to say. Maybe he'll have some insight on what is down there.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're going to go take a trip down a very, very long tunnel.
Yeah.
Just to see what's down there.
Just completely normal, just to make sure it's regular industrial waste.
Yes. Regular industrial waste of an unknown chemical compound.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got tunnel photos for you. You're going to
Cannot wait.
You're going to love them. But maybe you're like, you know what? We don't need to go and save those miners. We'll just, we don't.
Maybe she'll talk to Ira and be like, you know what? Maybe I do want kids. We'll just go.
Maybe Ira will tell you there's absolutely nothing down there and it's super chill.
Yeah. And we'll find out next week. But what are you doing in between? Today and next week.
Well, first off, I want to thank everybody for being here. This has been amazing. I just have a lot of notes. I just feel bad how much indecision I made earlier today. So I appreciate everyone just letting me walk through the chaos realm that we are. Oh, you made the best decisions. So good. Oh, I'm so excited for them. Let's see. Thank you, everybody who's been watching for us. This has been amazing. I am excited to share with you our finale next week. Yeah. It's gonna be real good. Because I don't know if you noticed, but nothing weird is happening at all. It's just a little bit of industrial waste and a little bit of corporate corruption. That's all we got.
Exactly.
That's it. It's totally fine. And the thing is about Vivian, right? Is that there are some weird things and she knows about them. And other people are not really prepared to deal with those things. Obviously, look what happened to those miners.
Yeah. But Vivian
they're dying.
knows.
Maybe Vivian is one of the only ones who's equipped to save the city.
Just get the story. That's number one.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to have some questions to ask you about what you're going to publish, but that's for next week.
Yeah.
So, JakiDash, tell me, if you would, who you are, where we can find you, what video game you're playing, what is your favorite, your current favorite anime, and anything else you want to say about the happy ever after that Vivian and Joe are going to have real soon.
Yeah, so I'm JakiDash, JakiDash. I do Monday Fun Days. I play video games every Monday. Right now we're doing Skyward Sword, which is very exciting. Thinking about we'll beat it by October, and then we're gonna play Lollipop Chainsaw, which also excited about.
Ooh, I
It
remember
is
that one. I've
fun.
not played it,
Yeah,
but I've seen
yeah.
the
It's cheerleader with a chainsaw and her boyfriend's head on her belt.
yeah,
So
yeah.
very excited about that. Um, and then I'm right now I'm watching this anime that's 15 minutes episodes that is like it is the evil lieutenant villain has fallen in love with the magic girl. It is very cute. It is only for humor purposes, and it's way too pretty to be allowed. But yeah, I'm very excited, and Vivian and Joe are gonna this is gonna be the last set of Vivian lies. She's gonna make it out of the tunnel. She is then, obviously, she's Marty and Joe are gonna meet, and they're gonna be like, "This is weird," and then it's gonna be like, "You guys should be best friends and have your own TV show." And even though TV doesn't really exist yet, and then it's gonna end where they're all sharing turkey dinner at a Christmas table.
It'll be called Cops and Robbers. It'll be great.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna read out. We had
Yes.
a donation from Time of Gifts for 3,000 bits, who says, "For those reasonably fed NPCs who are worthy of their hire." Oh, see, that's
Aw,
nice.
thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that was the ones that mugged or
Yeah.
tried to scare Vivian off the case.
Yeah, that's right. Did they succeed? It does not look like it.
No. No. They only made her call the mob.
They did. So apparently they failed in their mission.
Yeah.
Quite badly, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
My goodness. Oh my. I am troopersjp. I want to say thank you everyone who was watching. I want to say especially thank you to JakiDash, who's being... JakiDash is a hard nut. Jackie is beautiful and wonderful and warm. Vivian Sinclair is hardcore and is going to do what it takes for the story. And I'm just seeing that montage of Vivian Sinclair all like, cap, boots, jacket, ready to go. Everything set up in case she doesn't make it out. But
she definitely is. Like here's the thing, Joe's not gonna go to her desk before breakfast. So he's never gonna even see the letter.
It's true. And maybe she can get there before it becomes necessary to read it. I want to say, just as my outro, before I say where you can find me next. One, if you had made different choices today, different choices that took you on different places.
Oh, wow.
It would have been real bad for Neil O'Mara and his family.
I already risked enough people. Like I risked the secretary. I was like, there has to be a line, Vivian. You're not the mob.
You do not know this, but you saved a bunch of people's lives. Well,
yeah,
it would have been really bad. It would have been if anybody had seen you talking to Neil and Connor at their house.
Yeah.
And people are watching them. That family would have been ruined. And
absolutely.
Like they would have been ruined. And you saved them. At the moment, because of you, their lives are not going to be as terrible as it would have been if it had anybody caught you to, investigating in that way. So you saved their lives. You don't know how bad it would have been. I know how bad it would have been. It would have been real bad.
You'll tell me afterward. You'll tell me
after
the whole show is over. Yeah.
Yeah, but real bad. You have done a lot to protect people. And I made notes about it. And there are people who are now going to be protected because of you. I just need you to know that when other things happen,
I'm just saying, if there's a lot of thoughts like, no, Vivian might get into the mob if things go really bad with Joe. Like, I feel like if things go bad with Joe, she's going to be like an extra bounce.
Yeah, but, Joe loves you, so he's committed to you. Let's just hope. But you're not going to take him down to the tunnel, are you?
No.
Because you could.
I could. No.
I mean, it would be. Anyhow, So,
Yeah.
yeah, you can find me. Today's Sunday, so you can find me on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Reading Between the Lines, which is a Good Society campaign over at Laugh Love Lindy's channel.
Oh, yay.
Good times. Then you can find me. My next RPG will be Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on my channel for Crash Jones and the Asteroid Dungeon of Peril, Part 3. Yeah. He's right now. He's got some space sickness, or does he? We'll see if he can escape that. Then on Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern on this channel, you can find me and PB Plays Inside running Knights Black Agent Solo Ops Season of Death Spring, which is same system as this one here. And our agent is, going to go to Moscow, is in Moscow and is going to try to investigate what is happening. What happened to the agent who's gone missing? Nothing bad and probably nothing creepy, full of vampires and conspiracies. Although,
Absolutely. Completely normal case.
completely normal case, which will bring us right back around here Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, for the finale of Cthulhu Confidential X Astoria, when our hard driving reporter will absolutely just go and find out that there is nothing weird or spooky at all
At all.
going on.
I think it's going to go really well. I think it's going to go really well.
Everyone, take care of yourselves. Be kind
Drink
to each
water.
other. And drink water. And I just realized we should go and raid somebody, because raiding people is community love.
Yay.
And let's see who is up and doing exciting things. Who could use a good raid? Let's see. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go to credits.
Yeah.
And then while the credits are running, I'm going to figure out who we're going to raid and, give some raid love. And remember our raid command. Whoop. That is us. Thank you for supporting this show. Thank you for being here. Come and find us at troopersjp here or on YouTube. We can go to our merch store at Fourth Wall to get cool merch, or join our Patreon, also at Academic Foxhole. And we will see you all on the flip side, everybody.